attending school, and in my mind, there is no need for my wife to be at home 24/7. She got increasingly pushy about it over the past 2 months, and again, I just kept on telling her that there wasn't any need for that.
I'm just seeing when I... Oh, come on, man. It should still go. Alright, alrighty. Here we are, playing again. Yeah, I'm gonna continue the goal of try to automate making small compact rooms, because I know I'm gonna need metric tons of them, and that is going to be a long journey to do. But that is what I'm planning to do for the next, I don't know how long it'll take, but it will take like 4, I know it's going to take a long ass time, but I think it will be worth all the time and pain to do. Alright. So, Alright. I was just watching, I'm gonna be putting this on as background noise for you guys if you want to listen.
And if we did decide to go down that route...
Let's try the beginning of this story.
Next story.
Dang,
yeah,
no
this one.
update! Oh, I was like, did it just hit you?
This next story, I believe I submitted. I found this one.
I think they're infinite.
And this one's crazy. And I've been...
I'm not too sure.
And I've been seeing...
You and Roger are a bitch.
Are a single...
We knew it!
So this post I found, and there's been several posts similar to it. I think it might be a little bit of a trend on Reddit. Just a couple I've seen. Okay. But this one I found, and I was like, gotta send this in. This comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for threatening my wife with divorce after she quit her job to be a trad wife?
I'm not familiar.
Now I get it.
Trad wife is
it's like,
it's
what
on
the fuck
TikTok,
is happening?
And stuff. It's traditional wife.
I don't know why you would
so women
want
who are like,
to be
I'm a trad wife. Like,
But,
I'm a stay-at-home. Like, I want to just cook. I keep the home.
If you want to live it, then you can live it. I'm not gonna judge you for that,
but
it's still a bit
you'll
weird.
see in this story.
Okay, yeah.
How it's perceived.
Okay.
I don't even know where to begin with this. Me, a 34-year-old man, and my wife, a 33-year-old woman, have 2 kids together, 11 and 9. Me and my wife have been together for 12 years and married for 8. Around a year ago, I noticed my wife increasingly sending me these trad wife or traditional housewife TikToks. I have nothing against the type of relationship, but I don't think it makes sense for our current family situation. I do earn quite a bit more than my wife and enough to sustain our family on my own, but I don't see the need to do so. I work 80% and my wife 50%, and besides Wednesdays when both of us are working, either one of us is always home for the kids. I could work 100% and let my wife be a stay-at-home mom, but again, both of my kids are attending school, and in my mind, there is no need for my wife to be at home 24/7. She got increasingly pushy about it over the past 2 months, and again, I just kept on telling her that there wasn't any need for that, and if we did decide to go down that route, what would she be doing during the hours my kids attended school? I know damn well our house doesn't need to be clean for 6 hours a day. She would constantly try to butter me up with, you would have dinner ready every day when coming home from work, and something about unlimited blowjobs or some BS like that. Again, in the nicest way possible, I would remind her that our kids were toddlers and our current work-life schedule allowed us to function perfectly fine. We got into a pretty heated argument 2 weeks ago about it, and my wife completely stopped having sex with me to show me what I would be missing out on. She's basically been treating me like a roommate since. I just thought she would get over it, and this was just a phase, but God, I was wrong. I came home from work yesterday and saw a bunch of presents on the dining table. At first I thought they were all for me since my birthday was in a week, but then I saw the labels on them addressed to my wife. I read one of the letters attached to one of the presents. The last sentence on it was literally, "It was such a pleasure working alongside you, and I wish you all the best moving forwards." I thought this was some sick prank. A few minutes later, my wife just casually strolled into the living room, acting like nothing was wrong. I guess she saw my mad expression and had the audacity to tell me, "You'll get over it." I just lost it. I just left without saying another word and went to my parents' house. I feel absolutely disrespected. Why the f*** would my wife think it was okay to just quit her job without telling me and just expect me to be fine with it? My wife has been bombarding me with texts and calls demanding to know where I am and that the kids miss me. I just told her to go find a lawyer and that I was done with her, and then proceeded to block her. My son just sent me a voicemail crying and asking why I was divorcing mom and if I was leaving the family, and I guess that kind of broke my heart. I haven't responded and honestly don't know what to say to him. My mother-in-law has also been demanding that I return home and apologize to my wife. My parents also seem to be siding with my wife since they are traditional Muslims. My mom also used to be a stay-at-home mom. I feel like I'm wrong for immediately jumping to divorce without hearing her out, and besides this whole job drama. I love my wife too much for this to be the end of our otherwise perfect marriage, but on the other hand, I feel like I've lost complete trust in her. Should I just swallow my pride and let my wife stay at home from now on, or should I follow through on divorcing her? How should I navigate this situation?
Dude, unlimited blowjob?
Yeah. But seriously, what the fuck
That's really
is
tough.
happening?
I mean, the main issue is, like, they didn't, like, work that out together. Right.
Yeah.
I think, like,
maybe I need
if you
this
want
to
to be a
figure
trad
out,
wife, that
maybe.
is, like, you're bad.
I
Like,
could-
do that. But I think the important thing is it's, like, trad wife. It's not something that she can just choose to go do by herself. It requires
this has to be
a partnership. It requires she would be a trad wife. It makes sense that if they were both like it wanted that, where the husband is like, I want to be the one who provides for our family while you take care of our, like, she just wanted to take on this different lifestyle, it felt like. And ultimately the fact that she went ahead and quit her job, which is a big life change when you have kids that you're supporting, without even discussing, like, hey, I'm going to do this. That's tough. That's really tough.
Their communication is really bad. Like, in general.
It sounds like he tried.
He did try, yeah. I mean, I see his side throughout all of it until he left without even telling his kids, and his kids are, like, just clueless. And I just, like, to just kind of bounce and abandon your kid in that manner, that's the only thing where I'm like, hey, dude, her behavior was ridiculous. I was fully on his side, and I'm still on his side in regards to their relationship dynamic, but that aspect, I'm like, don't do that.
His kids probably think that he just, like, abandoned them.
You have kids, you have to, like, even when your partner's being irrational, I feel like you have to consider your kids in that situation. I'm not saying you can't divorce her, but how you go about divorcing her is one thing.
Yeah,
you can't just even block her. You are ghosting your kids.
Yeah, I think there's such a big part of, like, you know, there's such fairness in both sides, I think. Like, I can see this woman wanting almost this different life for herself. She's obviously seeking a lot of content out of it too, and she's consuming a lot of content and being like, oh, this sounds like something that I'd really be interested in, like, I want to try this. And it sounds like maybe they were navigating some sort of conversation in the beginning about it, and then that's when everything kind of started to go south, because she would hear no and would be like, okay, well, then I want this and this and this, or, like, I'm going to threaten to just leave my job. Like, she's kind of taking all of these extra measures instead of continuing to talk about their disagreement.
Yeah.
And then he kind of responds to the sudden job quitting by fleeing and ignoring the kids. And so then all of that
I wouldn't
really
believe
messy.
that.
Yeah.
But
I
their
wouldn't do
initial
that.
conversation,
like
it's okay to disagree. It's just kind of how you work to understand each other, and that's what they're really lacking.
They started off. It felt like it was just a bargaining thing the whole time. Like, sharks. I present to you. I want to be a trad wife. It's like, no, because this, and it's instead of being like, I feel like if he'd started off by asking her, like, why does this matter to you all of a sudden? Like, you know, you've been married 12 years. You have kids who are now in elementary school. Why now? Like, what is it about it? Is it something you really think you'd want to commit to?
Yeah.
Or is it just the job that you're not enjoying?
Yeah,
like, just trying to
what's going
understand it.
on?
On the other end as well, like, I think he could do a better job of communicating.
How would
Like, he said that whole, like, 80 to
rearrange this room
100%.
to put
He could say
this in
something
the
like, it's too much for me, because then I'll have to work more. Like,
Maybe
again,
if I
it's
use
just that
all
trying to
three of these
understand
spots,
each other and why you want
and
what
then-
you want.
no.
That way you don't just end up being like, well,
Unless I put
forget
it on the
you, because I
ceiling.
want what I want, and walk out. Like,
Put
that's
it
not a
here,
partnership.
and then I could
Yeah,
put it.
yeah, no, that's
No,
so
that would
true.
only take
And
one
you know,
block.
she's saying like this
No,
is what
it
I
has to be
want, and
completely
he was
on the
even
ceiling.
considering it, being like, yeah, like I guess it like financially could work, but it's not what he wanted. And I think the reasoning that he brought as to why she shouldn't felt weird. Like it almost sounded controlling in a way where it's like, what are you gonna do all day?
Yeah.
But like that's not really fair. I think one thing that should be taken seriously is like when people are married, they're agreeing to a life together, and so you're planning.
What do you guys know?
I mean, barely. Like, but like, so they need to be on an agreement of like, especially when there's kids involved, like on how they're gonna do that. And like in my personal opinion, I'm like, any bit of income matters so much when these people that you're bringing into this world. And so like, I don't think that the way that she handles it is fair. I do think that it's weird that he's just like, yeah, I think she'll just like get over it, right? It's like, no, you could have tried harder.
Yeah, and I mean, their communication, I think, is the real issue here, but the trad wife stuff, I think, is really fascinating because it is this internet trend.
Yeah.
And I think it's coming at the same time as, like, this whole alpha male thing. And what's funny to me about the trad wife thing, and there's nothing wrong with any dynamic that people consent to, and they're like, this is our dynamic, right? But the trad wife thing, I think, I've thought about it a lot, and I'm like, they're basing it off this, like, mythologized 50s aesthetic. It wasn't even the real version of it, but it's also in this current era, which is so different than back then. I'm like, yeah, the way, like, dynamics worked back in the 1800s was different because you were surviving. Like, nowadays, I'm like, it's a little different. But it's also not real. It's similar to an alpha male is not a real thing.
Right,
like it's all based on.
Like, sure, it sounds great to not have to work a job. That sounds f***ing awesome.
Right.
But it's like, and it's a very, very privileged to be even in a position where you can consider that. But I ultimately think she's just kind of putting her wants before his.
If I'm thinking correctly too, like I definitely have seen the TikToks of like, you know, come with me like as a housewife or like as a work from home or just like a mom who doesn't have a job but like is at home all day, like those things. Full-time stay-at-home mom, like those kinds of things where they just like they grocery shop and then they do like their window shopping and stuff. Like it's very idealized on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I can also imagine that she's probably seeing that and she's like, oh, well maybe I could just, you know, really take my time and just enjoy my.
Can you give me a hand really quick outside? I just gotta move the table.
Alright, just give me a quick second. I'll be right back. I'll just be right back. This better be a one-time thing today. clock outside. God, she's like a year older than me. She is a year older than me. She's acting like a child. I have flaws too. Not being a nuisance.
Life while my husband goes and works, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not supposed to be okay with that, but I am, and that's what makes it okay.
Yeah,
you know?
I've gotten served the TikTok stuff too. There's a couple famous like trad wife types of things, and they are always doing like they're making like a perfect dessert from like scratch. Like they're they're not doing actual traditional stay-at-home parent things, which is like you're dealing with dirty shit all day. You're taking care of kids. It's a hard job.
It is hard, and I think there's a lot of YouTubers, including like Chris Collins from the channel, who's talked about it, where it's like, that's amazing for you that you and your husband are living that life, and you guys chose that together.
Sure.
Because like I think that's really, it's kind of sad that she's expecting him to take on the entire load of providing for the family financially, because that's a lot, and
especially when your kids are at school, like.
Yeah, and you know, like. There is a lot of things that can be done when you're properly taking care of the house. There is, and like the kid's age doesn't really change.
I think no matter what, the key is that it's like the relationship should be equal, and like
like this doesn't sound like a compatible marriage.
That's what I mean. Like in actual, when you're talking about actual traditional housewife, I would even say it wasn't equal. It was more work. Like,
But either way,
more work.
Right.
Context. This isn't. They're not talking about reality here. They're talking about what they're being served on the internet.
Yeah. And then she's like trying to sweeten the deal by doing like unlimited blowjobs all the time.
Yeah, which is what I just think that gives me a lot of pause. Like strange. The verdict was not the asshole. Comments: nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home parent, but your partner has to agree to it, and you don't need to strong-arm them into this. This level of blatant manipulation would be a deal breaker for me, not the asshole. Someone said, I'd leave. That's manipulative as hell. Let her be a bad wife with some other sucker. And lastly, someone said, not the asshole for divorcing her, but dude, call your kids back.
Call your kids.
You seriously left them without speaking to them and have been ignoring them since? Someone said this 100%, get your butt back home and be a parent in the meantime.
Yeah.
I fully agree about that.
Yeah, be a parent at least. For now, be a parent.
He does that.
And that's arguably,
Just be a parent until you could figure this out completely.
Completely. The crying voicemail and then him being like, I haven't answered yet.
And to be honest, with how manipulative she was, who knows what she's saying? It's like, like, dude, don't.
But it's like it's his responsibility. It's like it makes sense that you left, of course, but you have children. You cannot just leave them behind.
Exactly.
I could turn this on.
Next story.
You and everybody.
I'm sure. I'm telling you, we're probably gonna end up with more trad wife stories on Reddit stories.
It's the trad dad.
It's similar to we get these alpha male stories.
Right, but if they find each other and they're freaking living and loving and laughing,
something tells me they would not be happy.
Not living nor laughing.
I don't think any alpha male is actually gonna ever work out.
Only on full moon. I'm sorry, I don't even know what that means.
It would be like a wolf.
All right, next story. This comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not letting my sister walk down the aisle at my wedding?
What? Why?
This is gonna be good.
This is my breakfast right now.
Why?
I, a 29-year-old woman, am getting married to the love of my life, a 30-year-old man, in a few months.
Why?
We were high school lovers and childhood friends. He's truly my best friend and everything I want in life. However, we both decided to wait until we were well off to be married, so we could have our once-in-a-lifetime magical moment. My sister, Stacy, who's 21, got married at 19 to someone who I like, but I'm not super close with. They were together for 5 months before he proposed. Their wedding was rushed, and half our family couldn't even make it because of how soon it was planned and set up. It was small and just in the courtroom. No dress, party, etc., just a legal wedding. However, my wedding is around $19,000, and we haven't even finished everything. It took us ages to set everything up and save. Stacy recently came up to me while coming over, we're close and have dinner once a week at my place, and asked if she could walk down my aisle and meet her husband so she could feel like a bride.
What?
I laughed and asked if she was serious, and
Why?
she was. She claims she never got her magic moment and just wants to feel special once. But it's my wedding and my special day. She had hers. Stacy claims it will only be between us and it won't take away from me. But then I asked what she might wear, and she showed me pictures on her phone of wedding dresses.
Yeah.
Hard no for me. She then asked again yesterday in front of my fiance, and I think it was an attempt to pressure me. He laughed and said no, thinking it was a joke, like I did the first time. My mother and Stacy's husband say I'm being an asshole because Stacy still isn't rich, so she can't afford another wedding, even if she wanted one, but neither are I and my future husband. We just planned for years. I just wanted one day for myself, but maybe I'm blowing it up because she never got the bridal experience.
No, Stacy, girl, what are you doing? Stacy, come on, Stacy. I thought it was gonna be different.
I'm gonna say a really douchey thing.
Go off, Brian.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
should
wait.
be working.
But like, Stacy's gonna get her opportunity when she gets married again. I'm just being honest. She's saying she got married at 19 after meeting a guy I've known for 5 months.
So
I'm sorry.
casual and
sorry.
and I love
I'm
this.
sorry. Like Stacy, statistically,
You burned my eyebrows off with that.
statistically speaking,
Stacy's
Stacy and this guy are probably not going to work out. And Stacy's only 21, so if they get divorced, she'll like in the next couple of years, she'll be like under 25.
Alright, so it does work.
She'll meet another guy, and she'll get married, and that will actually be like kind of
Really takes a lot.
That's the biggest you've ever been.
No, we'll be back in 4 years with that.
We'll get married at 19 in class. Yeah. Statistically, though.
Well, 5 months and a little bit.
Yeah, everything about it was like you got married at 19 after knowing for 5 months. That's your chances are just really bad.
Yeah, the chances are not likely. It's possible, not the most likely. I totally thought it was like, oh, the OP didn't want her sister to be like a bridesmaid or something. But that is really, really not
Is it
not
good?
the vibe.
No.
Like that's
Why?
No, that's
like, it's just between us. It's like, no, this is a wedding. Everyone's there. It's between everybody.
Right. Like you guys planned everything. Let the two of us just step in and be playing
And
bride and
also-
groom.
And late
Why
in
is
the
it not
planning
connected
process
now?
too.
Why?
I think a cute compromise could have been like if at the
That should be
reception
working.
they wanted
What the
to
hell?
like give
Why
their
is that not
sister
working?
and husband like a moment of like a little first
Like
dance
a
if
dance.
they wanted to, but
think you need
not
that.
wearing white. It's not like this younger sister like this is something in her life that she couldn't control. She chose all of those
Right,
things.
there you
She
go.
chose to marry at 19, elope, and not have a wedding. That was her
Exactly.
choice, and money is part of that. But that was the
Alright,
choice she
is
made.
that doing
Yeah.
that?
You
Alright,
don't
that's
have
doing
to get
it
married at
now.
19. If having a
Alright.
wedding of that nature,
Now it's
because it
working.
sounds like OP made the choice of like, we're gonna wait till we're older so we save up and have the wedding.
Yeah.
Her sister decided not to do that.
Right.
You know, there's an 8-year difference between them. Like this Stacy could have easily said, you know what, let's also do that because a wedding is super important to me.
Yeah.
But I also bring up what I said. How
It's
infuriating
just Sam.
will it be if that relationship doesn't work and then
If that
Stacy
goes
does
into
get married again and
this
has an actual wedding
Yeah.
and actually walks down the aisle and OP is sitting there just like, and I gave you my wedding to also, so you got it twice.
Does the crusher
That's
not
all
do
I'm
anything?
thinking about.
It feels like such a childish case too. Like it's reminding me of like birthday parties when you're a kid and like your younger sibling like blows out the candles on your day.
Very much.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't do that, and parents need to step in and be like, no, like that's not.
It makes me think more certain she's going to get divorced because she doesn't understand the gravity of things.
Right. And asking
Clearly
it
doesn't
again
understand.
in front of the fiance, the
She's a
fiance
child.
for going, haha, no.
Haha.
Love that.
Stacy is literally like a kind of a child. She's acting like a child. She is very young. I mean, she's 21, but it's just kind of ridiculous.
And she's allowed, and bride isn't allowed to say no. OP's allowed to say no. It's her wedding, her choice.
And there's all those excuses. Once again, this always happens. The mom is being a
What were you about to say?
just being an idiot. Like,
I think you're saying the mom is being a bitch.
The mom is being
no,
a fucking bitch.
and I'll say it, dude.
I'm gonna say something douchey.
But it's just like I just have a feeling the younger that Stacy has kind of gotten everything.
Yeah, no,
If the mom is saying no, give her your wedding.
younger siblings are always
No.
more spoiled than the older siblings.
It's an unfair deal. She needs to throw in at least unlimited blowjobs.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk.
Verdict was not the asshole. obviously.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. There is no conceivable universe where her walking down the aisle on your wedding day at the location of your wedding wearing a wedding dress will be just between the two of you and not detract from your day. It's rude for her to even ask. If she wants a special moment, she is free to plan her own vow renewal event where she wears a wedding dress and has all her family, etc. That's totally true.
Great idea.
Only Opie responded, if she was just going to wear a nice dress and walk before me and stand beside me and her husband, I would probably have no problem with it, or at least let her do it. But I feel like she's just trying to use my wedding as a free event for her. Someone said, not the asshole, I see stuff like this on this sub, and I am shocked that people have the audacity to even ask stuff like this. It doesn't matter if she's your sister and her moment wasn't what she had hoped for. If you allow this, then your moment will be different than you imagined it to be too. Your sister and her husband made their choices. They could have waited, but they didn't. Opie responded saying, I asked her when she accepted his proposal if she was sure it was a good idea, since it seemed really rushed. But her response was that since my boyfriend proposed a few weeks earlier, she wanted to get hers over with and tie the knot, so that I would be able to have my wedding in the fall, like I always dreamed, and hers wouldn't overlap. That's insane. That is this.
That is necessary.
You got married for every reason but
for
that you want to be married.
Yeah.
That is necessary.
Stacy's got something else going on.
Yeah. Someone said, not the asshole, I'm just wondering how she is envisioning this situation in her head without it being a confusing spectacle. And if they want to continue to make a big deal out of this, you certainly can consider rescinding their invitations too. No need to have her trying something at your wedding and disrupt the ceremony. Plus your fiance said no, it's his day too. OP said, I doubt it'll take away their invites. She is my sister after all. But I'm just worried she might try and pull something like walking in with the wedding dress anyways, or say something about me during the speeches.
That better be the update.
I'm guessing those are pipes. Yeah, fluid pipes.
What is he gonna do? Show up in the wedding dress and dive into the aisle in front of her? It's like, oh, half of that might happen.
Unfortunately, we'll never know. Just kidding. Update.
Oh my God, she showed up in the dress, didn't she?
She did it.
The day after I made the post, me, my fiance, Stacy, and her husband met up for brunch. I told her she needed to hear me out fully before she spoke, and thankfully she did. In short, I told her as much as I love her, I've waited years for this day, and it was mine.
Yeah,
she had hers, and if she truly wanted, she could have used the money I gifted her to get her own wedding. Her husband cut me off and said that they needed the money for rent, but she didn't let him talk. I showed her the Reddit post, and she started crying, and asked her husband and my fiance to step out for a few minutes. They both did, and she told me her husband and our mom had been the ones pressuring her, since she had admittedly been jealous and told them both she wished she could have had a larger scale wedding. She said she had been over the whole thing until her husband started saying it wasn't fair because he was jealous he couldn't provide for her, and eventually complained enough she asked to walk down the aisle for him. Stacy said she was willing to fully back out of the wedding and would understand given the heartache she's given me, but I told her that her husband would be the one without an invite, which she gratefully agreed to. We talked more in depth on why she was jealous, and she said she regretted being married so early just so our father could be at her wedding. After a few more minutes and both of us crying and forgiving one another, I told her she could always tell me anything, even if it was between her and her husband. When my fiance and her husband came back in, I told Stacy's husband he was uninvited, right then and there, and he seemed to understand why immediately. Though he did groan about it and called me multiple times, but I blocked him. Again. Over the past few days, our mother has called to apologize, and me and Stacy have been talking much more openly and honestly to one another. I decided to let her wear a dark silver or pale gold dress to match my theme, and walk with me down the aisle as my father sadly can't. She told me I didn't need to, but I insisted. We ended up finding a dress we both loved, and I got it as a gift for her. Okay, I didn't know the dad element. That changes.
Yeah, you're a dick, Shane.
I still think with the dad element, this guy doesn't sound great.
Of course.
I still unfortunately think that relationship's probably not going to last, especially after hearing about his behavior.
Yeah.
So I think.
Blocking him again?
I think Stacy. Yeah, there's red flags all over. I think Stacy will have her opportunity one day. I think she's gonna find a better. I hope she finds a better guy.
Okay, not Stacy being the underdog.
Yeah. I know.
And
Like,
also,
damn.
OP being an incredible sister.
Yeah.
That's so lovely, and they're gonna walk down the aisle together, and that's so sad.
That ended up as well as I think it could have.
I do not understand how her husband being jealous that
I didn't go through
provide
all of that.
for his girlie.
Did I?
Sorry, I'm saying girlie.
No, I loved it. Yeah.
So he's like, how about you?
Oh, there's the furnace.
Also, let's take some of theirs. That's not providing for her, honey.
honestly,
even worse.
he's kind of legendary in a way. Like, he's making me laugh because he, like, steps back in his brunch, and then she's like, you're not invited. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's an insane thing. That's actually that's somehow the worst thing in the whole story. It's like
what
I
is
get
his
it.
life?
He's like, yeah,
I get it.
right.
I'm
Well,
off.
I agree with you. Apparently he like groaned.
Oh.
Alright,
He's like, I'll agree. I'm just gonna call you later, and you block me, and that's how it's gonna go.
I'm picturing him as Paul Rudd in Wet Hot American Summer, which is like,
You're right.
God.
Hey, yep.
Wild.
That's so funny.
All right.
Justice for the husband, man.
Yeah, he's the good guy.
He's the good guy. Stason.
This episode of Reddit Stories is brought to you by Zoc is Luck the DOC.
Oh my god.
From Relationship Advice. 22-year-old woman. My fiance, 25-year-old man, wants his father to check my hymen tomorrow night before I get married.
Oh my god.
Oh,
What?
Legends of this story.
Oh my god.
What the hell's a hymen?
This is from 2019.
Okay.
For some reason you said hymen, and I was thinking like the thing that's in the back of your throat, and I was like, that's fine. You can check.
No strap. You guys are good to go.
Oh, I just clutched everything.
The way that I would never.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
Don't let that.
For those watching,
I need to get a yellow pigment.
my fiance proposed to me about 8 months ago. We decided on having a relatively small wedding, which is in 2 days. Everything was going great.
Sulfur
He
is
seems
just
absolutely
basically
perfect, and we are very much in love.
dick,
I'm a virgin, and
just
so
pure
is he.
dickly
He wanted to save it for
impossible.
marriage, and it didn't bother me, so I agreed
Unless
to
I
save it.
figure out
He has told me
this.
earlier that in his family, the father checks the virginity
the
of the bride the night
morb.
before the wedding. I laughed this off as it seriously sounds like a massive joke. No, turns
A
out
rush
he was dead
crusher
serious.
could
He wants me the night before to open my legs up in a small ceremony type
Ugh.
thing so his dad can check me while he, his
Why?
brothers and uncle can watch this. Oh, I am still here. I
Why?
told him, fat chance I'm going to do that. He was begging me to go through with it and how important it is for him. He said he knew it was slightly embarrassing for me, but his mom did it, and it will prove how much I love him, and that I have nothing to hide.
But I need
anyway, as
diamonds
I am still a
anyway,
virgin.
so
I left and he was crying. It was very dramatic,
I
to be
need
honest. I want to
cubic
call off the whole
boron,
wedding because of this
Jesus.
and never talk to him again. But at the same time, it's only one thing, and other than that, we are genuinely perfect for each other, and I don't want to spend my life with anyone else, and it is very important to him and his family. What the
Jesus,
frick
where is
frack
it?
do I do?
What the flick flack?
Flick flack, you don't freaking flack and open your legs. I don't want you to flick my hymen.
After
Well,
writing
how
one of the
do you
most
get
horrific
that?
Reddit posts I've ever read, you go to, what the frick frack do I do?
Yeah, actually, all the hymen stuff is fine. Why'd you write that?
Okay, we'll get to that. What are you doing there? I am currently at my friend's house and I might stay here for the night. Tomorrow will be our last day as an unmarried couple, and I'm straight up angry.
Okay,
Get out!
get out.
That
You
is
are
a
not
horror
perfect for each
story.
other.
Not the uncle and people watching.
No,
That's
no.
crazy.
Sorry.
Also
No.
crazy, but that's also additionally crazy.
This is just like not even important. Like it's just like a technical standpoint too.
Yeah, but I
the
need
whole hymen thing is
slag.
also a myth.
And then
Yeah,
Like that's
and I need
ridiculous.
Singularium.
yeah. I hope she brought that to your attention.
Whatever
as
the hell
well.
that
But
is.
Y'all just want a peep show.
Yeah,
Yeah, this. What is
No,
this?
that's,
Oh, copper.
that's insane.
No.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
I
thing.
think that's actually the most appalled I've been at a Reddit story.
My whole body, I almost like
Get this
gave
in?
reverse
I need
birth
a
to myself.
fluid
I almost
But I
like
need
went into
three
black hole and went
of
into nothing. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
I need
existing.
to
Like
have
I
it
was
closer
gone.
to
It's not even like, you know,
Well,
the tradition or
yeah, that's
ritual or
not
whatever it
the
might
plan.
be. It's the
The
fact
plan
that
is
she
to
doesn't want to do that,
and I'm
everybody
fucking
is
around
forcing her to.
And I gotta
That's
stop
also the
fucking
thing,
around.
because we
That's
come
what I
across
gotta
that a
do.
lot, where it's like, and this is a
And it's all
very
men.
extreme case, but it's like, you know, there's traditions and cultures, but it's like when you get married, it's like you guys have to, one doesn't get to just be like, well, my culture takes over and we're just completely in doing what my family does.
Right.
So it's like, but this is insane. I think this tradition
I need more
can be
big
so
rooms
I
to
think it's
really
good.
start
And, like,
automating.
he's like, my mom did it.
This
and,
isn't
like, it shows
really
how much you
doing
love it.
much, but
Hey,
it is
maybe
going
the
to
mom
do
wasn't
stuff.
comfortable with it, but went along with it, and it's because these men
It's
keep
going to
dictating
turn
and
these in the
keeping this tradition
big
going.
rooms.
When it's like you just gotta break the cycle at a certain point. Like again, scientifically a myth.
I need more
And
rooms.
it's
That's what
it's
I
men
need.
deciding this thing. Like this fiance putting this on her. The father wanting to do this, the uncle wanting to watch, the brother wanting to watch. It's just like, guys, this woman has have her body for like please.
Unfortunately,
please.
like if this guy is saying no, do it. Like I do think it's going to be telling of how he views women.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's such a red flag. If you're feeling it all before your wedding, like I'm feeling this desire to run and never talk to him again. I'm like, that's important.
Yeah.
You should listen to that.
Right. It's just like it almost reminds me of the first story in a way, where it's like he's just letting his family kind of dictate what's happening. Like, and if that's
Yeah,
what
I need a
he is
bunch
kind
of
of
these.
also exercising in a way, it's
Like a bunch of
okay,
them.
question tradition.
It's
First of all,
fucking-
why is this happening?
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
like to do that tradition is also insinuating that they don't believe her.
Yeah.
That she's.
Oh yeah, I need to get
saying
boron.
she's a virgin.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
It's
Yeah.
Right. She
Doing the wrong
already
thing
kind of
again.
said in the beginning that
Yeah.
he wanted to wait until marriage,
I
and she
need-
respected that. She had no problem with it. And now there is something that is brought up in his religion or culture that she does have a problem with, and he's trying to impose it upon her. You can believe separate things,
the
but the second that you try to overshadow another person's beliefs is when it gets tricky and when you can't actually make it work in a marriage.
Yeah. It sounds like
What the fuck is that?
or some shit. But it's
I haven't
awful.
seen it, but I love the lead.
Yo, is this gonna turn me fucking creeped out? What the fuck is happening? What is happening? Why? Why is that happening? Why? Why?
Comments here. You may not have
Did-
an intact hymen.
did the
Most
outside
females
world just
don't.
explode?
This proves nothing. Plus, it's disgusting
Again?
to even think about
No?
your soon-to-be in-laws looking at your twat.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what he's looking
What the
at.
hell?
Someone said this.
Yeah, what? He's like, yeah.
Looks good.
Okay.
Over there, yeah.
He doesn't know.
This tradition is disgusting. He's essentially asking you to expose yourself to every male in his family. It's nuts. Not to mention reeks of control and abuse. Lastly, someone said, if he lets his family do this to you, he does not respect you in the slightest. Run away. You're still young. There's plenty of men out there who will not make you go through this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Harry's 25.
She's 22.
Oh, the fiance's 25.
Yeah, no. Don't do that.
No, run, girl.
22, you don't have to get married. Don't do that. There's an update. We're not going to read it here because it gets a little intense. She does leave it. She doesn't do the ceremony, she leaves it.
Yep.
So,
As she should.
but if you want to read it, you can go find the update. We're just not
I
reading it here.
The lesson is listen to red flags.
Yes.
Wow.
Don't tolerate that shit.
Ooh.
Okay, next story.
I
Am I the asshole?
need more
Am I the
weed.
asshole for saying I'll be driving myself and paying for my own room on the upcoming family vacation so I won't have to be a babysitter? A 23-year-old man was repeatedly stuck playing the part of helper and babysitter on family outings. I had to move out of my parents'
I
house
need
because I
more.
kept being forced to help watch my 3 nephews. Last year we took a family vacation in summer to the coast. I rode along with my parents and they paid for my hotel room. Only I had to share that room with 3 rowdy boys because my sister and her husband wanted to go for themselves. I was promised time to do my own things on the vacation, but instead I ended up having to help with these kids. I complained to everyone about it and was reminded I was there for free. And then we pretty much just did only one thing I wanted to do, which was to tour an art gallery. I like doing this whenever I'm at the coast, but the kids find it boring. This year my parents have a beach trip planned for June, and they assumed I'd be riding
Damn it,
along
where
the
the
same
hell are
way as
these
last year.
snippers?
But I refused. I said I'd be driving myself and paying for my own hotel room to have my own room. My parents were shocked and tried to remind me of the cost. I said it was no worry. I've got a good job and a decent running car. I can more than afford it. That's when the buts started. I stated the previously listed things as why I'll be driving myself and paying for myself. I want to be able to enjoy this vacation as an adult and not be treated like a child like last year. My parents told my sister, and she called to blow up at me, that I'll be ruining the vacation if I'm off doing my own thing while she has to wrangle her 3 boys. I ended up yelling at her that last year all she did was rope me into her mess. I didn't really get to do much of anything I wanted to do, and I was treated like the bad guy for wanting to just go to an art gallery. I'm a grown man, I deserve my own vacation too. Now my sister is not speaking to me, and my parents are still trying to convince me to ride with them to keep the peace. I'm still refusing, but the pressure is getting to me. Am I the asshole for not giving in? I know they'll have a pretty hard time when they won't have another person to help. Edit, it's barely been an hour since I posted, but my sister is apparently a Reddit lurker in the mornings, and she saw my post. Not only is she furious with me, but she's also upset no one in the comments is siding with her. To make it short, she went on a big rant about how it's so hard to be a parent to triplets, and the least I could do is help because I'm young and single, and she needs a break. I stood my ground on my decision, and now she's calling our parents to get them involved. I'm expecting a call from them any minute.
No, yeah, she's right. No, she
Oh,
can't
yeah, I
take
need
care of her
to-
own children.
Yeah, but I'm a shitty mom.
Dude, it's one thing where, okay, like if that ended up being the case on the previous vacation,
Really?
that's really, really sweet that
Well,
you
that
took that on
kinda
and those
helps.
parents got to have that.
I could get...
Then that was that. You don't need, that doesn't need, that's
Interesting.
not how it's going to be forever. Like, and also the fact that they weren't even going to discuss it again and like ask him.
Okay.
Right.
Just
Just
that's a
expect
lot.
it again.
Like,
Alright, this
kids are
is
fun. I had a
immediate
blast.
gotten
Like,
a
nieces and
bit
nephews, I'm like, let's party.
easier
But, like,
because I
There's
just
something about
saw this.
Not, like it's 3 kids.
This is still gonna
and
be a
not even
thing to
asking,
do
or
though, but
give sweetening the deal for him too, like, and so yeah, I think that's really shitty. That
wait,
they're
why
kinda
would there
like,
be
come on, just do
Ender
it.
eyes in the?
Like,
And having to like room with them
Don't
from
think about
last
it.
year too.
Wait,
like,
where's the
that is
glowstone in
Because
this
they
one?
wanted their own room, and,
Right.
but then when he
Wait,
wants his own
where
room,
is it
it's
in
wrong.
complete
and
center?
everyone was on the pull-out couch.
It's not a bad, like, you know, I've never had to take care of
Can I
triplets.
see?
I don't know how insane that is.
Alright,
But it's not bad if it's like, hey, free vacation, we'll pay for everything.
Right,
Yeah, but then if he
This
goes,
just
"I'm gonna pay for my
makes
own
the
stuff and do
tiny
my own
one.
thing," then it's
Oh,
like,
I
alright,
could
then
make
that's the
this.
case.
Yeah.
But now
So
they're making him feel
he's-
bad for that.
No,
It's
wait.
like, no, this is very clearly he's being used.
yeah, and also like even though
No, that
he
is
paid
like
for and
so
handled
much
last
more
time,
expensive.
it didn't
What am I
sound like that
talking
was,
about?
Like he wasn't expecting.
The other one
that
is
he was
just
gonna be
4
taking
and
care
then
of
you're
the
just
kids. It's
done
how it
and you
happened,
got
or
one
we'll just
room.
deal with it 'cause you're here for free.
I think I feel bad.
Is
and
it
I-
really worth it
I
for
haven't experienced
wood?
this, but I feel bad for a lot of people where I feel like in families, if they're single, they're treated
Is it
like they
easier?
don't
I don't think that's
matter
easier.
in a way. Like,
Yeah.
like if he had a partner, it would suddenly be like,
but
okay, now we need to respect
Those
you.
make sense.
It's like he's a person. He is a grown person
98.
who's allowed to live his life
Totally.
how he wants. He's not just some.
I don't
He didn't
know.
force that couple to have kids. And like,
Exactly.
that's obviously their situation, but like that's not. our
Maybe
It's
for
your
larger
responsibility,
rooms it would
like,
make more
Learning
sense.
how to go on vacations with your
Like
kids.
these
is like
ones maybe.
It's a tough thing, but like you.
Yeah.
Like in the
They're your
center,
kids. You
maybe.
can't put that on
Like
someone else.
maybe.
You know, it's interesting too because I
Maybe.
think culturally
Right now,
there's a lot
I
of
do not think
different,
these are
definitions and expectations of family.
No, wait, no.
Because I can see
I could
that
save up on
there are a lot
tiny
of members
rooms with
in this family,
this,
particularly
but
the sister and her husband, who just have this idea in their head of, you know, well, your family. And
I could
family
save
means that these
tiny
nephews are
rooms with
also like your
this.
kids, which
Right.
means you should be able to
I
take
don't
care of them.
need tiny
And so kind
rooms
of
for
seeing it from
these,
their point
but
of
I
view,
do need
I can see that they are kind of
use
like,
these
this
a
is so
lot.
selfish. You're stepping away from the family. You're not helping
Which
us
means I
with
need to
these
upgrade
kids.
how to
Like, you're
get
not helping us
these,
with the general family vacation,
which is already
and we
pretty
need help
easy to do.
wrangling these kids. I think where they really lose me though is again it's the communication. It's them just expecting it, not asking for it, and it's the misunderstanding of like, you know,
Yeah, I could
particularly
save
her
up
being like, no
on
one's on my side. That makes no sense. Instead, being like,
rooms.
okay, maybe I'm being unreasonable because my
I could
brother wants to
save
actually
the
do other
last
stuff on
period
his
of
vacation, and I should be
room,
able to balance it out in a way.
which
Like,
this
it's
I
a little
could
bit of back and
save
forth. I think
tiny
it's okay
rooms and
to
just
ask
skip to this
family to help
process.
and show up for
But
you, but
to get to that
expect it,
process, I need to
demand
get
it,
to this.
and then be upset when they aren't agreeing to those terms. That's where
How do I
it's
get to
really
this?
Yeah.
Comments here.
What
You know,
what
this is a good solution
stage
to this.
freedom?
The parents could pay for the building with the
Do I
money
need
they
to
save for
leave
something.
entirely for
Oh,
that?
wait, that's not a lot of money? Guess
If
you really
so,
didn't
then
value
what's the point?
Brothers, sons, contributions, LMFAO.
I don't see the
Someone said I can
point after
absolutely
leaving.
understand people who have kids
Other than
wanting to vacation
space,
without
but
them. But if that's the case, go on vacation without them. Arrange childcare, etc., and go on an adult trip.
How
But
the hell
don't
do I-
pawn your kids off on someone
Well,
else during
what
the vacation
stage
so you can get
freedom?
free time. Bring them, deal with them. Also, your sister having kids isn't anyone's problem except her and her partner. If they are angels, good for them. If they are exhausting, they are still your problem, not the asshole. But I'd skip the family trip entirely and go on a solo adult trip.
Alright.
Lastly, someone
I
said, not the
need
asshole. Your
much
sister can pay a babysitter to come on the vacation if she doesn't
Maybe
want to deal with her three
this.
children.
Well, I have to get
Personally, I
it
wouldn't
here,
even go because even in
and
a separate hotel
it's
room, they
going
are
to
going
be
to leave you alone
easier
about
from
this. You feel very
here.
entitled for your babysitting
Is this
services.
freedom?
Someone
Is that what it
responded
means?
saying, I got more alone time as a
And
baby
after
than Opie's did
leaving,
because I still got my own room and a couple hours of off every day. Paid
It's
babysitters get treated
challenges,
better than
glitch
they treated
adventures.
Opie.
There's like only like one thing to do in glitch adventures, other than maybe glitch one and then go home and stick a truth. But other than that, I'm seeing much else. Yeah, I need to.
And they're
I
not,
need to go
they're
further
not
than
necessarily like, oh no, we want you on this trip. They're like, oh, we want you because we need you.
I need to automate.
Update.
I need to
Well, I'm off
automate.
work now, so I can tell more of what went down. I guess you could say it's over. My sister got our parents involved. They looked at my post and were absolutely horrified by the continuous influx of commenters. Yes, they're very angry with me that I posted here, but I told them that if they'd just listened to me to begin with, I never needed to. I'm sick of the whole keep the peace mentality that sacrifices me to placate my sister. They in turn went off on my sister, and to make a long story short, the whole vacation has been canceled. The hotel wasn't booked yet anyway, but my parents are arguing with my sister is blaming me, and my nephews are crying because they aren't going to the beach. My sister called me at lunch and basically implied I have no life, which is why I have time to help. I recorded that and told our parents, and that's currently what they're fighting about. Parents said they won't ever push babysitting of my nephews on me again, and have agreed that what happened last year was unfair to me. Right now they're very angry with my sister for telling me I should help her because she thinks I have no life. My sister is playing the victim, and my brother-in-law is basically saying nope to the whole mess and spending most of his time at work. Thank you to everyone who has commented. You made my day.
So
not okay having to do as a brother more work than a husband is doing for their kids. That's uncomfy.
That's a messy family.
I need to make bigger
him.
rules.
Eventually.
For that to happen, I need to make this anyway. No, I'm already wrong.
Right.
I need to smush these.
Like, hey, like that's not fair to just declare he has no life and that he has less value because he's not married with kids. Like, that's not where he's at. And how is he ever going to meet someone if he's going to places and is stuck with 3 children, like at the hotel room?
If the husband is noping like that too, like like maybe that's a part of the marriage. Like maybe he is honestly like they're being too much nope, and the sister is like, this is a lot to manage. That's why I need my brother.
Okay.
And the brother backing out. She's like, well, now I have to do this alone. And maybe that's kind of where her stress is coming about. Again, she's relaying it all in not a good way, but I can see that maybe that's what's
I
driving.
admit that she's using
Oh, go away.
And playing the victim and
Yeah,
kind
I
of
need to
saying,
switch
life,
these
like
up.
she's now
I need
going
to get a
extreme
bigger
lengths,
room.
but I think it's because
So,
she might not
I need
be getting as
another
much
bigger room.
support
I
from
really
her
do need
marriage.
another bigger room because this one is being used for other things. This is being used for crushing. I need smaller. I need others. I need another small room. And then I think it's this and what else?
Yeah.
Oh, did I use all that already?
It's our last one. This comes from Legal Advice UK. So, Legal Advice UK?
So British accent only, please.
So, imagine, like, we're talking about legal stuff, except they're wearing those silly wigs. Except.
The powder white wig.
Okay. Brother is using common law to evict me from my own house. Help, please. Hi there. Really, really weird one here, but to cut a long story short, my brother moved in with me at the start of lockdown because he was living in hotels for some reason. I recently found out that this was because he owed around £260,000 in debts to a multitude of small businesses for various reasons. A lot of these cases have gone to the High Court, and he's being actively pursued by bailiffs. When he moved in, he was relatively normal but vague about why he was living in hotels, etc. Then as lockdown went on, he started to get more and more obsessed with these free men on the land / common law types, which has led to some major disputes, like saying he doesn't have to wear a mask because he's not a subject of the crown, but the Cromwellian Lord Protectorship, and trying to annex land from the fields behind our house because apparently you can claim land by throwing a hatchet at 4 corners.
What the any of that mean?
British conspiracy theorists sound awesome.
Honestly,
Compared to ours over here,
that sounds
that's
like
hilarious.
Did I just
way more fun.
If I put 4 hatchets down, I own the land. I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. We have sovereign citizens over here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, recently the bailiffs somehow caught up with him, and they were pretty nice lads. Explained everything to me, but after he said he wouldn't pay, even if he had all the money in cash, they took his car. Ever since this, my brother has been furious with me, so we started avoiding each other around the house. This weekend, I went away for a mini break on the coast and came back to find all the locks have been changed and windows boarded up. Garden furniture is nowhere to be seen. Ray, my brother, who basically explained as the house was unclaimed, he'd be a de facto eviction of me from the house, making him sole owner, and if I attempted to make entry, he'd have every right to kill me under the provision that an Englishman's home is his castle. This isn't Florida. Castle doctrine does not, I don't think it works the same way. I'm staying with my parents, which isn't ideal as they should be shielding, and I went on the mini break, but when I contacted the police, I was told as a tenant he has every right to change the locks. Dead confused. Any help is very much appreciated.
What?
Oh look, I don't know UK laws. I don't know what the f***'s going on, but this is insane.
This is freaking multi, mate.
I know this type of shit happens a lot in the US where people like once you have someone living in your home, you can't like evict them. Like there's a lot of stories like that. But I don't know if you can evict someone and be like, this is my home now. It was unclaimed because you're on a 5-day vacation.
And if you come in, I'll fucking kill you.
If you come in, I'll kill you. It's
that's
insane.
crazy.
That is wild.
How do you also? It's so crazy when people try to avoid each other in one house.
I think that's pathetic.
So, I've lived it.
Yeah.
So a couple comments. Get a locksmith. You are the rightful owner and can prove it. Get the locksmith to change the locks and evict your brother. You're feeling really stupid. You could use the same law he used to evict you. Someone said, mate, your brother sounds like a right medieval cunt. Okay. Hello, everyone. For those of you who have been following my little saga, I got some great news. Back in the house, and otherwise everything's still here. Spent the whole day making sure. And nothing's been trashed, but there's tons of Domino's boxes in the kitchen. Apparently, he contacted the bank trying to access my accounts and spunked any money he had left on pizzas in celebration. So he's now both homeless and has no money. So I spoke with a solicitor, and he basically picked apart literally every bit of this common law bullshit, and we rang the police. Well, the solicitor basically said the police aren't going to help us, so we can either go for a court order or try to get bailiffs now. Went for the second, as I needed him out ASAP, and they said that this would be very easy. So bailiffs turned up at the locksmith. I don't exactly know what happened as me and the solicitor were waiting around the corner, but I do know the police were called and he got carted away. I assumed that would be the end of it, but he's been contacting my parents saying he's the rightful owner of the house now and that he just needed some time to get back on his feet. Well, they basically disowned him as of this, so it looks like he's kind of f***ed himself. And I assume the police put him back on the streets, so going to have to be wary, but I just hope he sods off. Honestly, huge thank you to everyone and all your kind words. You've all been so amazingly helpful, and what honestly the scariest time of my life has now turned into a funny story I can tell my future kids.
Oh. Whoa.
That was wild.
I know that this guy was so thrown at it and ended, but then I'm gonna order some Domino's.
I've conquered my land, I've got my castle, time for Domino's. Alright. What if they went in the house and there was Domino's boxes piled up to make like a little tiny fort, and he's like, alright, you've conquered the land around, but this is my fort.
This is my land.
You can't get into here.
Put it in your, I'll slap you with a pizza slice.
I don't need these yet. I don't need them yet. Maybe this one, but
being unhoused and
not
like,
yet.
with nothing, I just feel like
Let's
such a
just
pause.
turn this on the
Again, as I grew up,
Is
as
there
a
any more
kid, that was like one of my
generators?
biggest fears was becoming homeless. And my family, when I like finally like voiced that out loud, my dad was like, "Oh no, that would never happen because like you have family and like you'll be okay." And so like it sucks, but literally when your brother threatens to kill you or take your home, I guess you know you gotta let them live their life.
Yeah.
Live it.
These thoughts of grandeur and just the way that he's thinking, I wish he could see someone in like therapy and stuff because it seems like he's not. Like his thought processes are not normal here. He's volatile. He's threatening to kill people. It's like,
Right, and eating too much Domino's.
Yeah, I need to
I
get
feel bad for him,
more.
but when you're threatening to kill people, unfortunately,
Right, we have
How the hell do I get
like
villagers?
sympathy.
There seems to be an
If
interesting
possible.
theme, I think, that strings these stories together. A lot of them, that there's like
I don't think I
family
can.
that's trying to
I think that's only an outside part of the story.
until someone inevitably steps over the line and does something that's so obviously inappropriate, or sometimes maybe not as obvious.
Oh yeah, I need
And then
to
the other family
go to
has
the
to kind of be
sawmill.
like, am I acting strange?
I think I
if
put
go
it here.
this?
Yeah.
It's so sad
No,
how
someone's
it
here.
has to get.
Yeah.
That's the tough part about family. It's like it really, things get pushed so much further than typically would let friends.
Right. In an interesting way, it's kind of like in other relationships, if those circumstances kind of happen between you guys, maybe it would be easier to leave that conflict and not have to confront anyone. But because it's family, there's a lot of association with like the continued attachment, the continuous connection. Like, despite whatever happens, you always have to stick together. And sometimes, that's the case. Hopefully, but a lot of the times, it's like sometimes you do have to put a lot of distance between your family, despite them being family.
It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of this, it was entitlement at the end of the day, you know?
Right.
I relate to that story and the child life story where it's like, that sounds like a lavish life. Eating pizza in a house that I didn't buy. Love that for me. But sometimes in life, you know, there's a lot of people who post tweets where like, I wish I could just be a frog. But we can't.
And you're not going to be a
There's
frog.
just some things in life you can't do.
Yeah, I need to figure out storage too.
I don't.
How much is in here?
Update.
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 I am a frog. I have become a frog.
I'm now a frog.
Well, this was crazy. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having a roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah.
Man. Oh my
Oof,
God.
I was sad, I was shocked, I was gagged.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. I hope none of you have to deal with the level of bullshit that we're reading in the stories, but I'm sure some of you have. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. I wonder if we're ever going to do like a Smosh Reddit story subreddit where fans or followers can submit stories directly to us.
Yeah, we just gotta submit.
I think, but I'm not sure. Shane and Courtney might be married?
Am I the asshole for thinking these two people are dating?
Anyways, let us know what
Alright, that's the
subreddit
crusher
you guys
machine.
and we'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye.
Maybe I should rethink this a little bit more. Because I need these in like in rows. And I don't know if I can. At least not with this setup right now. Some things need to change, but I don't know how. Give me a second. Let me look for a video real quick. AI this, AI that. No.
Coincidence? Live footage of Valve finally stepping in and performing one of the biggest bot house or ban waves in TF2 history as soon as the community began drawing gay corn of Omegatronic. Yeah,
I need more
didn't rise to
shoots.
Reddit for that time.
Maybe
but I heard
shoots
about this
could-
whole arc.
Yeah,
I
shoots
just
are
find it
gonna help.
confusing, but yeah, that's my entire thing.
How am I
Good
gonna
riddance.
do it,
TF2
though?
bot houses right now. Yes, I enjoy every story. But to this subreddit as well, I mean, I've probably mentioned it in the last video at least like 20 times. Valve hasn't done anything for ages, and only because of the public stink did they do a little. We'll see if they can keep it up, okay? Don't be like, oh yeah, Valve, we forgive you. That should be okay. Davey didn't even notice. Average Doberman aiming. Yeah, it's kind of hard to aim in that tunnel though, to be fair. Like, he probably hit the ceiling a few times. They're making a TF2 movie. Who should we cast? Jerma Scout, I agree. Markiplier Medic, Samuel Jackson Demigod, Bryan Cranston as Engie, okay, Jack Black as Pyro. I don't know about that one.
Nah,
Maybe.
Jack
The rest
Black
I
would not be
kinda disagree
Pyro.
with.
No,
Chris
no.
Pratt as Soldier, I don't know about that one. I don't think so. Heavy is fine too. No Cyber and Spy yet. Okay, Poot is in bot. Is this one of those posts I've heard so much about? It is that.
Okay.
I can't say that on YouTube.
Stupid. I think it's iron, I believe.
Let's move on, dude. I can't.
Not again. Our axe handling, bro. So it's already practiced
Yeah.
before this video. I would have had just destroyed it on this tree so we could rehandle it. Now we saw it.
I've already seen that
Oh, yeah,
TikTok.
I don't need steel, right? Damn, steel.
I did.
I didn't steal.
Alright, dude. What is that post? Holy heavy weapon Sky is real? Are you actually him? I am red heavy. I hate blue. Actually, that's red heavy weapon Sky. No. So Tommy Slumber stuck. What is this post? I mean, why am I even asking? What is this entire subreddit? In that same spirit, Valve, as soon as they heard that the community started to draw gay coring of a notorious blockbuster, unrelated random football clip, which should I use for my objector? Hey, how about a nice big cup?
Yeah, video. I would have.
Heard so much about. It is that.
What else is this for?
I can't say that on YouTube.
It could do a sawmill or manufacturing flour.
It is. Heard so much about. It is that.
Yeah, I need more, ridiculous.
It is that.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I need a sawmill and I need to make more biomass so I can make
I can't say that on YouTube.
I'm gonna make grassland. I think that's gonna help a little bit. It's gonna help with. Stupid.
Are you actually him? A nice big cup of STF. So just voice actor. I see. Oh, here's the cash for it by Jim Carrey. That would kind of work, maybe. Again, we gotta ban these spots. Is Soldier. Again, we gotta ban these spots. The communities of our PR, well-spoken, Gaben. Good stuff. Tall, blonde, and gorgeous. Painfully thick. Is Soldier a cannibal? Voice line, I will eat your ribs, I will eat them up. Me! r/CF2 be like. Someone suggested idea for safe TF2. Sassy Jesus suggests the exact same thing. Yeah, that's the one we're going for. To be fair, Sassy Jesus is just like one of the people where you can just be sure he really just cares about TF2. You know, that's his one thing. You know, sometimes you just need a community figure to rally behind.
Yeah, I got 4. I can make
cosplayers
more
from
insulated
Russia?
wires, or I can make a
Aren't those people in war? I don't.
capacitor backpack.
Aren't those people like fighting a war right now?
What's
Do you
this
think
for?
Saxon Hale is based off Chuck Norris? Possibly. He seems to just, you know, Chuck Norris isn't like a super novel idea of a character. He's just a strong, manly man. Yeah. Okay. Making French fries.
If I need to...
That was another week of this
Do I need to...
Click the video in the Sentinel screen to stay on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I can't really progress with that, though. Oh yeah, I still got that steel bit, so I could probably use that still. I need to make more chutes, and that's the thing. I need to store this large... my back. I just got this sharp pain. but
It is
yeah, I
time
need
for
more
some more
shoots.
unhinged Reddit stories. I'm Shane, and today we have a really awesome guest. We have Spencer. No, he's normal. He's been here before. But we do have Zach from the Try Guys here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Zach,
These are pretty cool. I like them.
Do you read Reddit much? Oh, no. Try not to. You avoid it? Stay away. Okay, smart. Yeah, I can only respect that.
Why would a cargo
Are you excited
cargo
for this,
rocket
then? So you can see
have less, no, not less, the same amount as just a normal rocket? For what reason? Isn't the whole point of a cargo rocket is a cargo rocket is to have more rocket? Yeah, I need to update my storage because this is a bit.
They took it, they threw it in the trash. Tossed the cup in the trash. Spin it. Yeah. No, that's how it
Yeah,
works.
there's no way to make those.
Before we begin,
Thankfully.
I noticed something.
Machine casing.
Am I perfectly...
Silicone. Oh, I can make these. So I should probably figure out storage first, because I need a, because my hotbar is getting too filled, and when I automate, I would need a lot of storage.
Is this my color? Yeah. Is my liver okay? Am I perfectly... Where'd you go?
Alright, I need to make
Even the lighter
thingy.
matches your skin tone. Jesus Christ, it's Ethan Hunt.
Is this my color?
Yeah.
Is my liver okay?
I think I made this, right? Did I? No, not that.
Here we go.
Never mind. No, I didn't.
First story. Am I the
I
asshole
made
for
one of
telling my
these.
friend to stop flaunting
Didn't
her
I
money
just
and
make
make her a
one
gold
of
digger?
these?
Okay.
I swear I made something similar, right?
Have been BFFs with
Have I?
Jill, 40, since we were in high school. Between the two of us, she's always been a bombshell. Blonde, tall,
How did
slim,
I
big boobs,
make?
etc. She never dated anyone in high school, which was weird to me because almost everyone in our school did.
Yeah, I did.
Myself.
I made
When
this.
we were in college and she was still turning guys
This
down,
was
I asked her
third
why,
one.
and she said she wants someone who is financially stable. I laughed off at the time.
Sequel.
I should also mention she grew up poor, as in her mother was going to the food bank poor.
Yeah, craft items.
After we graduated, she got a job at a gym
Yeah.
teaching yoga. I
So
continued
this
my
will
education to be a
automate the
teacher.
process of
She eventually met
crafting.
someone at the gym, and he's rich. Like, I
And
can't
I
even
need
comprehend the kind of
to
money this guy has.
do
Fast forward to now, they're married with 2 kids, and I believe she signed a prenup when they married. We were out to dinner on
Yeah, I
Saturday
gotta
that just passed with
just
2
use
other
this
friends
as
from
a-
college, and she wanted to go to a very
I
expensive
need
place.
uranium.
Her treat. She does this a lot. Flaunting
I
clothes,
have-
trips,
here we
etc.,
go.
etc. I always try to smile and ignore it, but it has been slowly bothering me. The dinner was going fine until one of our friends, Amanda, asked Jill what she had planned for her birthday. Jill said she and her husband are going to Greece for 3 weeks. Amanda and Sharon both made comments about how nice and lovely that is, and I kind of scoffed at it.
Damn.
When Jill asked
Just
me what was
damn,
wrong,
dude.
I admittedly lost it. I told her I'm tired of hearing her flaunting her money at everyone all the time, and everyone knows she only married her husband for money. It got really quiet for a couple of seconds, and to my surprise, Jill very calmly asked if that's what everyone really thought. I said yes. Jill then asked if it was at all possible that she initially dated him for his money, but fell in love with him along the way. Both our other friends said, of course. At the same time, I said no.
Yeah,
I told her
dude.
she fell in love with what he can provide for her. She then asked me if I
Yikes.
love what my boyfriend provides for me, which was different because I never started dating him for those things. She countered that with, of course you did. If you were just attracted to him because he wasn't loving, providing, caring, you wouldn't still be in a relationship with him. And if you were,
Hey, I love the girlfriend being super quiet,
I
not
thought
yelling.
she was
It's
so
not
upset.
falling apart.
She then stood up and said she has other
Very
places to be and not to worry about the bill. She left, and the 3 of us finished our meal in silence. When the server came around, he handed me the bill for my meal only.
Yeah.
This chick's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome, dude.
She paid herself and the other 2, but left me to pay for an almost $50 meal that I really couldn't afford. I texted her and called her an asshole. She replied saying not to message her again until I apologized for my earlier comments. I admit I might have been too hard, but I don't think I'm wrong. So am I the asshole?
You might be.
She took us to this really fancy restaurant. It's called Pt.5.
What the hell?
I'm not trying to be,
I'm looking at the center. I'm doing the center. What the fuck are you talking about?
Drinks, that's at least 7
What's your guys? Is she the asshole?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Another issue. There's something
I'm not. Why are you placing it there? Why are you picking it up here and placing it there, you idiot?
I don't know, maybe I understand
What are you doing?
how some people don't like that, but for me, I'm like, yeah, like, spoil me, bro. You can pay for my dinner. Yeah. Anytime. Yes. What are you doing tonight and tomorrow and the next night? Shane, the time. But I don't know, like, people do have different relationships with money, so it's just like, this doesn't need to be an outburst in front of friends. Like, at the dinner table, that feels like, I mean, that feels super inappropriate to me.
If at any point you find yourself initiating a dinner outburst,
Yeah. They've been friends since high school, so she's seen this friend.
Yeah, I need
all sorts of
water,
things,
just
and,
normal
like,
water.
She's in a different phase, and she's not like kind of happy that her friend
I can't.
found her dream life. You know, it's like, yeah, she's not like flaunting it in a
Please.
shitty way.
They should have offline about it.
She should have just been honest. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to be vulnerable. Like, damn, dude, you know, I feel envious. Like, I feel
Yeah, she needs to
feel like I feel bad about my own life because you've got such a good thing going.
OP needs to look in the mirror.
She wants her friend to feel the same, and that's the asshole.
and to be clear here, Jill, married, in her late 30s, early 40s, has 2 children, married with 2 children, and this girl said, you are This is someone who is so deeply settled into her life, and you are holding on to high school resentment? No. I don't want to diminish the pain that perhaps she caused in her childhood, but I want to tell you it is time to heal and maybe look at yourself and realize that someone else's life does not hold there. But it sounds like there wasn't even high school trauma. Like, it was like, why are you dating? She's like, I don't know. Like, I want a rich guy. Like,
There's a lot of weird shit. For one of like, she didn't date anyone, even though everyone else was dating.
yeah.
Okay.
Virgin dork.
Yeah.
Which was strange. She was a virgin because I wasn't. It's just strange. Like, it just feels like she can grasp other people's lives a little bit.
Just to be clear, the move of paying for everyone but your friend, most baller.
So funny.
So baller.
So
the
funny.
coolest thing anyone's ever done.
I think OP is the crazy friend in the group, but she wants this friend to be the crazy friend.
She thought
Because
she
the way
knew.
she talked about Jill responding, Jill was like,
Is that true? Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean for this. It sounds like a sitcom level
Yeah.
of, like, hysterics. This sounds like a Seinfeld character. I just want to point out, like, there's some weird shit in her writing. Like, her pointing out that they got a prenup. I'm like,
Yeah. You probably should. You probably should.
why did you throw that in there?
Yeah.
Like, you hate this person. And you're trying to convince us to hate this person. It's not working. So what's funny, she mentioned the prenup, which also kind of goes against her hypothesis.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they signed a prenup, so she wouldn't get money if they like. It just doesn't. None of this adds up. But
Should we go to Greece?
Yeah. I think we should do 3 weeks in Greece.
I think we should do 3 weeks in Greece. Let's go meet up with you.
Also, OP knows you don't have to be friends with people you don't like, right? That's not required. Yes, legacy friends is a real thing. Not when you're into your 30s. You drop that shit. Cut it out.
But I think if she were to stop being friends with her, how does she justify it in her head? She's trying to justify it, and she can't. And so she's trying to find a way. Okay, give us some comments on
Damn.
this. Jesus. You're the asshole. So when Jill treats you and your other friends for a lovely dinner, her treat, she's a gold digger flaunting her money. But when she leaves you with your portion of the bill to pay, you can't afford it, and she's an asshole for not paying your bill. You can't have it both ways. Pick a lane and stick to it. That's very true.
Yeah.
You're the asshole eagerly taking her money for a free lunch, but jealous when she spends it with her husband. I love how Jill left you with the bill, crying laughing emoji. You're the asshole. Jill could not have handled that situation more perfectly. She is not only more beautiful than you and wealthier than you.
Damn, dude. Going deep.
And jealousy is
That's what's
consuming.
happening.
That must be a terrible way to live.
Yeah, I need to go through all these. No, wait, no, I need to make a shoot. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah. So she was like, but I have some sort of standard.
I think she's jealous of the husband. I think she's in love with Jill.
Thermal expansion.
Kind of her body.
Yeah, exactly.
It's contentious because everyone feels different. But you mentioned like finances is important, but some people finances are a consideration.
Yeah.
Like that matters to some people. And at the end of the day, if two people are married, for whatever reason they're married, is like straight up their business.
Yeah.
She's trying to like
thermal
say they're
expansion,
not
some of
in love.
these.
It's I don't know. It just doesn't feel like
It's like that's not your choice. It's not your like. Yeah.
all right. Like even
Is
if
there
she was
storage
like,
thing here other than
alright.
shoots?
It's like okay, then okay.
Am I
so let us
missing?
proceed.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
If
I don't think there
I would,
is.
I have a lot of people calling you an asshole right now. I want to say, just focus on yourself. You don't need.
Wait, where?
Someone else's life.
Are the
is not
thunderstorms?
bearing on your
No,
life.
they're not.
Eyes on your
No.
own paper. Who gives
When
a
I
shit
turn
what your
around in the
friend is
game,
doing?
it was happening in the
You're
game.
too old for this shit.
So no,
So,
obviously
book your own
not.
cruise trip.
Yeah, dude, go to Greece.
I'll go
I
with
need.
you, even though you're not as hot as Jill.
Yeah.
I need more
True.
storage.
Next story. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to use different body wash?
Huh.
Okay.
Well, let's hear about.
Right.
All right, buddy. This post was on August 12th, 2023.
Yeah,
so
shoots are fine.
This person's still saying.
I need to get these. Apparently,
the main thrust of this post
none
is
for the weak
I am
wood
allergic
here.
to nuts, and my girlfriend's
Those
body
boxes
wash contains
can
almond
become even
It isn't
stronger
life-threatening for me
and
to come in
magical.
contact with it,
Is there
but it does
uses
cause
for
hives.
this?
I asked my girlfriend, Jess,
Oh,
to
there
change
has
the
to be.
body wash she uses as I am getting hives from residue of her body
I need
wash
to get
in the shower.
upgrades.
Jess was initially fine with it after a small back and forth, but has since spoken to
I
friends
need
and believes that I am being too
Invar.
controlling, as do her friends. My friends
Whatever
are mostly neutral, with
Invar
people
is.
saying that
Oh,
I need to
iron and
nut up
nickel.
and let her use whatever she wants.
Do I have iron
Okay,
and
a
nickel?
little bit of added
I do
context
have
is that we
iron.
recently decided we wanted to move in
Oh,
together.
did I
and
use all my
decided to do a
iron
trial
dust? No.
run as Jess still
No,
lives with her
right?
parents and
It
I
should
live
be
in
one
her
of
place.
these.
So it's easy enough for her to
No.
move in with me for a few
Yes.
months to see if living together full time
Not.
works
No,
for
that's
us.
silver. That's
It's never
redstone.
been a
That's
problem before
uranium.
now,
That's
as I've never
iron
had a reaction
ingots.
from touching Jess. It's
Do I not
easy,
have any?
but I am having a reaction
Like,
to the residue that's left in the shower.
Any iron?
Usually on the removable shower
Well, I
head,
got
which
nickels.
I need to use to get clean because I'm a big dude, and just leaving it up there doesn't get everywhere. Jess has always been afraid of allergies.
Do I
She
have
doesn't eat
iron?
nuts if she knows we are going to do anything together. A few times when she has, she thoroughly brushes her teeth
No.
before seeing me. So that's the post.
I was right. I was right.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. Change your fucking body wash. What are you talking about? I don't have a sensitive skin over here. I get all sorts of itchy. It is not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to.
You're being really controlled right now.
Stop. You're being really fucked up.
It's like no, like you know, it's the thing where people kind of weaponize these like therapy terms or what. I mean, it's not to that extent, but it's like this is not controlling. This is like a relationship. You know, you have to make concessions. Like you're not always going to rely on things, and sometimes, especially if you're going to live together, it's like, hey, I'm allergic to this. It's like, okay.
Are people fucking insane?
Yeah, like
What are you talking about? Why are we having this conversation? Change your goddamn body wash. It's
Yeah.
making me itchy.
Yeah.
Okay? I have hives on my body. There are 8,000 body washes in the world.
Counterpoint.
I'm sorry that you
Yeah.
can't smell like fucking nuts. Okay?
Almond oil
Change
smells
your
pretty
goddamn
good.
body wash. I have hives on my body. If I have the wrong detergent in my bed sheets or in my shirt, my armpits get red and they crack and it hurts and it's itchy and it's not fun. If I drink the wrong
Apparently, I
thing,
need this for something.
I shit for days, okay? Allergies are serious and they're not
And I
fun.
need
I'm not
scavenger
doing this
for
'cause I'm trying to
birchwood
control
with
you.
sawdust,
I'm doing this because my
which
body hates me.
completely
Evolution
useless.
should have weeded me out. I'm a weak person. You need to help me
Again,
out. I'm a
not really
wounded
that
little
useful.
baby
Once
bird.
again,
Being
really
protected.
not useful.
Oh my God!
I don't know
help.
why would I need this? For what reason? Other than recycling.
So I think we know how
Am I the
Zach
asshole?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why? It says I need it,
So my
right?
theory,
Well,
'cause he talks about, like,
it says
when he first
here.
brought it up to her, there's a bit of a
Yeah,
back
there's
and
not.
forth.
It's
And
not
then she
really
went-
that
so it sounds
special.
like she
You
was
could
sensitive
literally
to
get
that, though.
sawdust
I don't think she told her
Literally from here.
Whole story. I don't know if she told them.
I'm getting like 10 times more sawdust right here.
He's asking me to change my body.
He tells me I should do. He says I don't. Yeah, that's my theory, but I could be completely wrong. There's a comment here. Not the
I need to
asshole.
make a
It's crazy to me that she's even questioning that, let alone thinking you're controlling. It's a health issue. OP responded, I think that because it's not life-threatening, they see it as unnecessary for her to have to change it. They think that me getting her to do so is controlling me.
Please tell me not to.
Totally disagree. That's just
Unless there's something
What?
being
I gave
left
this
out
to
from
you.
the story.
What?
I gave this to you.
Didn't I give it back to you?
No, I found it in the furniture. You're supposed to read it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. What?
God. Don't worry about it. Make shoot. Which is not hard. I just need 10. TIN. Alright, cool. I got a bunch of dust, so I could probably smelt that down. God, I need to get my inventory. Get out, get out, get out. God, why did I hit the wall with this? Why would I need to do that for? Just to flex?
Yeah, cut and dry.
you voted not the asshole. So
Dump her. Yeah.
update. So 6 days later, on August 20th, this was posted. I know that I only responded to like one comment, but the amount that I received was honestly overwhelming. So thank you to everyone who responded. I did read all of them. I thought I'd post this update to tell you guys what happened and explain a little bit of why I made the initial post. For those who are wondering, I'm 21 and Jess is 25. My friends hover around my age and hers hover around her age. I would go back and say that I had seen my own value and got myself out of the relationship, but the truth is that Jess broke up with me 2 days after the post. I was still thinking, and she asked to meet up to discuss things. I went in hoping for the best, but was met by her telling me that it wasn't working, and she didn't see a future for us where we were both happy. That hurt a lot. I spent the past few days sort of realizing how stupid my original post here was. Of course I'm not an asshole for not wanting to come into contact with someone, something I'm allergic to. I think a lot of you probably wondered why I even had to ask. The truth is that I felt like I was going crazy. I genuinely liked and respected her friends. I thought they were really smart. So to be told that this was the opinion of my girlfriend as well as theirs made me take it very seriously. When I went to my friends and received no support or validation, I started to convince myself that I was wrong. I also actually learned from the comments that continued exposure is in my reactions, so that's handy to know now. Wow.
Am I the asshole? Every time I go to kiss my girlfriend, she rubs peanut butter on her lips. I don't know if I want to come into contact with that. I love that she called him for coffee and was like, a world where I don't smell like nuts is a world that I can live in.
Yeah.
Alright, that's pretty simple to do.
On that is, it sounds like she was checked out of the relationship before this issue even came up, and like she just, I don't know, because it's so. I think if she cared about it, you'd think like yeah, but it sounds like she didn't care about it. Like,
The age gap, it's not problematic, but it's a little funny. 21-year-old dude dating a 25-year-old bitch. It's a little funny.
What?
It's not like deeply funny. It's just like it's like okay, why are you dating a little dude? I don't know.
What's funny is when I was 21, if a 25-year-old woman dated me, I would have thought that.
Right. I'd be like, why?
There was one comment on this. This dude dodged a bullet. I can't imagine not wanting to fix something easy to prevent someone else from having negative health effects. The fact that she went as far as to call him controlling is crazy. I feel for the next dude she treats terribly.
There's gotta be more that we're not hearing. Yeah. And that's one side, like, what else is this guy doing that pushed her to feel like he was controlling her? Or what else is going on there? I don't know. Like, even if my partner was like, I don't like the way that body wash smells, I'd be like, well, like, I don't know. Unless I have a condition where I have to use that
Yeah, I
body
need a
wash. And maybe I'm just a pushover. If she tells me that she doesn't like my shoes, I'm throwing them away. I will, whatever the f you say, I'm doing it. I'm just happy to be here.
No, I mean, like,
It's an honor to be nominated.
if it's like an easy pivot, like,
Yeah. Another element is they
Do these
recently
connect?
been together. Yeah, they're
Like,
doing like a trial.
No,
of
I don't think
together,
they
which
do.
is smart. I do think for relationships, it can like make or break super fast. She might have just been not fed up that he's doing anything wrong, but she's fed up because they have very different living situations. It sounded to me like she had a lot of animosity towards him.
Can I just say, across the board, point blank, don't move in with the partner when you're 21. You're too young. Don't do it.
But I will say, like, moving in with someone is a huge thing, and I have often said the things that I think make or break a relationship are like what your bathroom counter looks like. Yeah. Like how you organize your floors. That shit will rip a relationship apart faster than things that you think are huge.
that's why I think the trial of the really smart.
Yeah, and look, he's 24. They both realized,
And you failed.
and they failed the trial run. And he's super young. He should not I think don't tolerate that type of stuff. Yeah. Be like, hey, let me try it out with someone else. Next story. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend her 90s nostalgia was cringy and past it?
Yikes.
Alright, you did.
Yikes.
Where a lot happened in the 90s. What's the nostalgia for?
Yeah, she loves George H.W. so much. Okay. She's obsessed with the 90s. We were both born in the beginning of that decade. This wasn't a problem until we moved in together at the beginning of this year. She has, there it is again. She has one of those built-in
So I
players
really need
TVs and a
these.
ton of videotapes.
And I need to.
Badass.
I think I need to
She has
refine
She
storage.
has console games too, the newest being the N64. She loves the hell out of that damn N64 and constantly wants me to
Dude,
play
that's
it.
cool
I can't
though.
stand it.
I don't
The
know
graphics
what
are so
your
bad.
problem
Doesn't like
is with
newer games
this.
because the graphics are scary.
I love old retro games as much as the next guy. I really do.
Sorry, I thought it was real. But she doesn't like newer games because the graphics are scary.
Scary. Alright.
Those.
That's a bit strange to say, but I wouldn't judge her that much on it.
What is this? It's a GameCube.
The mansion that Luigi's in, it's so scary.
And I need
Those
this
damn
to be
videotapes take up so much
lower.
space, it's ridiculous.
And
She only has
there's
about
not
10 tapes
much
she
to
watches
do.
constantly. I thought it would be nice to get her these on DVD. She never even opened them. Things came to a head today. When my girlfriend likes a song, she will listen to that one song on replay for days. This was the situation. I came home from work to hear You Were Meant for Me by Jewel for the fucking millionth time this week.
Dude, growing up with my mom, be like,
I got enough of that song in the 90s. We should have left it there. Bruh, I think there's
Dude,
only so
this
many
guy is
times someone can
boring.
play that fucking song before it becomes psychological.
This guy is just
All of the
boring.
frustration I felt for these
This guy is a giant bore.
He just sat there looking sad. I did feel a bit bad, but I think these things need to be said. He's speaking to the wrong crowd, too, because I think on Reddit,
It's the best woman on the planet! Like, my VHS of
my girlfriend only wants to play N64.
Yeah.
It's like, badass.
My girlfriend wants to name our daughter Billy. I think you,
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't know,
true.
hate your girlfriends? Is what I'm hearing. Because, like, I don't think that any
No,
of these
no, that's
things
input.
are
This
good
is
or
not.
bad. It's clearly who she is. It's really funny she's scared of modern graphics.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
I mean,
That is funny.
you just have a girlfriend who's got her little fun TV and her VHS and you don't like it. Like, that's on you.
I would say, let's just break down the different elements here, because there's a lot of am I the asshole within this. If your partner were playing one song on loop forever and ever and ever, I think that you can say, hey, I've heard this song many, many times. Maybe little earbot, little AirPod. Well, I guess she probably has a Walkman. So
There's no room in that, right?
At no point does he say that they've had conversations.
Yeah, that's no room.
Like he just blew
Oh
up.
yeah.
Some
Yeah,
comments
totally
here.
forgot.
You're the asshole. Of course she doesn't have anything to say. Her partner jumped on her for liking something. What do you really love? Now imagine your girlfriend telling you it's stupid and that you should stop. Not nice. Don't be a jerk. You're the asshole. I hate Seinfeld specifically because the damn show is on repeat in my house. I want to drown Kramer in a bucket. But seeing my boyfriend laugh and smile is when
Kramer would never fit in a bucket.
Yeah.
Wait.
First of all,
Seeing my brother smile is 100% worth grinding my teeth every time I hear Elena's stupid frickin' voice. Okay, you lost me. He has no idea I hate it. I never, ever take away a single thing that brought him joy. Someone commented, don't hate on the N64.
I think this guy just sucks at Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
He's frustrated.
I think this
He's
guy
like,
sucks in
"Please play
general.
Internet." And she's like, no, that's scary.
Just a big old wham wham baby with nothing. So.
We're biased because I feel like we have a lot of 90s nostalgia.
I get it though. That 64 does kind of suck.
We should cut that.
It's like the controller's terrible. Like most of the games like run at like 20 frames a second. Like I'll pop on Mario 64 occasionally. Like that game and Super Smash have aged really well. The majority
A sniper dot.
yeah, the majority N64 library like just is not great.
How about you shut up?
I'm saying that with my whole chest.
You want to lock that in on
I'm
this
locking
video?
that in. Yeah.
You gotta, like, look, we're not editing that out.
I'm fine with that. I think it's one of the worst controllers. It's like, you know,
The controller, fine.
It's
It
not,
is weirdly shaped,
it's
but
not
saying
my favorite console.
it
I have a
sucks.
lot of nostalgia
No,
for it,
no.
but objectively, if you don't have nostalgia for the N64, it's not good.
no, I don't have nostalgia for the N64, but I love it. I never even played any of the games,
GoldenEye
but
is awful.
I love the games.
Holy crap!
Great music, like iconic, like sound effects, but like the actual gameplay infuriating.
Like, are
Maybe
you
you just suck.
serious?
Valid. This is my take. This is 100% my take. Allowed to have that. And I'm allowed to have that.
Comments? Do your thing. But relative to other
It's on
consoles
sight
of
when
time,
I see it.
No,
That's all I
mean,
have
like,
to
it
say.
was like kind of like the early onset of 3D. Like it was really hard to do like so that's why like the best ones like Mario 64 has aged super well.
Did you write this post?
Yeah. I hate my girlfriend. Yeah, I that's all I have to say about that 64.
Okay, man.
But like the
all I have to
boyfriend
say.
is not the
Finish
boyfriend
this
is
10-minute
not
monologue.
yeah the boyfriend is not raising these legitimate issues.
Tune in.
They're legitimate
to every
issues.
Xbox Games live stream on Thursdays from here on out, where the chat will be talking about this.
Yeah.
No, I think the ultimate thing that we're taking away here is don't hate on something people like. You know, like don't tell them not to like it.
Also, understand that what people like is part of who they are.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So-
a good. That's
This
important.
This is what you signed. I mean, yeah, if you don't like this, like, again, you just don't like your girlfriend.
I want to say, here at this office, we are a very opinionated bunch, and we love video games, we love movies and TV, and everyone here has very different tastes, and the way we converse is very respectful. We have this type of conversation where someone will be like, oh, dude, I love that movie, and they'll be like, dude, I think that movie's trash. But we're not saying, like, you're stupid for liking it. We're just offering different points of view, but we're acknowledging, hey, that's my point of view. Doesn't mean you're wrong, I'm right. Just that's my point of
And I
view.
need to do
And
this
that's fun.
for
But when it goes to this,
make charcoal.
Also, what? You think I'm gonna not watch my VHS if Dunstan checks in for the 80th time?
Oh yeah.
Is
VHS
probably gonna be
sound.
this room
that aspect
after.
so
Do you have any VHSs that you watch so much that
Well,
you burn
one of the
whole tape?
small
I did that when I
rooms,
was a kid with Beauty and the Beast.
or
There were definitely movies that I watched a lot. I remember the
Tier
tapes would get
2.
messed
I'm
up.
gonna
You
call
had
it
to
Tier
stick the
2.
pencil and rewind it.
'Cause that's
or like you
easier.
have to fix the crinkly tape.
I had a combo VHS DVD player in college, and when I was driving up to college, I went over a bump because the DVD got stuck in there.
What
so,
was it?
Those are Pussycats.
Nice.
Next story. Okay. Am I the asshole for buying a murder house and not having a problem living in it? Throwaway because I don't want this on my main. Alright.
Throwaway is this is
Throwaway
not my
account. They
main
made a brand new
Okay.
account just for this post.
Cool.
I'm a 40-year-old man. My fiance Sarah is 37 and her daughter Kim is 16. Kim's
Oh,
dad
that's
died when
real.
she was 6. Kara and I met when Kim was 10. I didn't meet Kim until we were together over a year and knew things were serious. My relationship with Kim isn't
I should
parental,
probably.
but we get along without fuss most of the time. I feel more like an uncle figure than a parental figure.
You're the asshole. It's your stepdaughter, bro.
Kara's
Your fucking stepdaughter.
No.
I
Kara's
don't really see her as a daughter. She's just kind of like a dude I live with. What are you talking
A
about?
dude who happens to
Alright,
be a
that works,
16-year-old girl.
right?
Oh my god.
Kara's mother was just in a major car accident, and she couldn't leave Kim due to
Yeah, it
her online
works. It
school
works.
schedule.
It's good.
Kim had friends over without permission the last time she was left alone for a few days, so Kara asked if she could stay with me for the next few weeks. She doesn't have a firm return date yet, and I agreed. I bought a house a few years ago and finished the renovations and remodel last fall. I got it cheap because a murder occurred here over a decade ago, and no one touched it until I fixed it up. It's not like there was blood or anything anywhere, and the way I see it, someone probably died in most houses and buildings that exist.
Yeah, obviously.
It sucks, but death is everywhere. Kim has been staying with me since Saturday, and she even seemed excited when I gave her the grand tour. I showed her the basement hangout and said she could have a friend or two over if she wanted so they could have some fun. After all, I know she's worried about her grandma. I even showed Kim the room I put together for her, which made her cry because she must have thought she'd just be in a guest room.
Yeah, 'cause she wants a dad.
I wanted her to feel at home because this would be her home when she and her mother move in. Things were going great until I found Kim crying in the kitchen this morning. She went for a walk when she woke up, and upon chatting with a neighbor down the street, learned about the murder.
What?
Hey, you moved into that house, eh?
I thought for sure.
That's literally what she talked to.
I thought that's like a Scooby-Doo, but I thought for sure it was gonna be the dad. I thought the dad was gonna be like me trying to bond with my 16-year-old.
Well, because he didn't tell. No, because
I'm glad.
he didn't tell her. Literally, she walked down the street. There's just like,
So, looking to enter that house, eh?
all right.
Copper
Literally, this
thank God I just got a whole thing of
The
10.
neighbor was very descriptive and told her far more details than I knew.
Jesus.
And Kim asked why I didn't tell her. I was honest and told her that I knew a major crime happened, but it was over a decade ago by now. It's not that I don't care, but the price of this house was too good to pass up. There's no way I could have afforded a house this nice and this big under normal circumstances. Kim demanded that I sell the house because she doesn't want to live here when she and Sarah...
Come on, a 16-year-old girl telling me to sell my damn house.
Kim demanded I sell the house because she doesn't want to live here when she and Kara move in with me. I told her that's not happening. Kara is too preoccupied with her mom to deal with this right now, but Kim is at my throat. Kim thinks I'm cruel for not caring enough about her to sell my house. When I told her that I care about her, and even made sure she has her own room, she snapped and said that I just don't get it. Am I an asshole for not having an issue living here?
I want to know about the murder.
Yeah, so Kim, the daughter, talks probably this, in my head, creepy-ass neighbor who goes into full detail, more details than he knew, and now she's just thinking about that in this house. Of course she probably is like, dude, I cannot live here. But he's also, look, as an adult, he's like, dude, I bought a house, like, I can't sell a house, like, I can't afford a different house. Now I'm saying this without context.
Why is it not?
I think there's some context in the comments here.
Even before the context, can I say, I think he's asking the wrong question. It's not, am I the asshole for being okay living in this house? It's, am I the asshole for not treating my future stepdaughter like a daughter? Like, he's treating her just like some fucking roommate.
How long have they been
You need
together?
to care about what this person thinks, and you need to work to make her comfortable. It's not like, yeah, great that you have no problems living in this house. Your family has a problem living in this house, and you need to be a father figure and step in.
Well, I think he said Kara is too preoccupied with her mom to deal with this right now, but Kim is at my throat. So the mom hasn't necessarily said that she doesn't want them to live there yet.
Right.
So I think if he and Kara are both agree, like, hey, no, we're gonna live here as parents, then that's.
Then there's a pathway to do that.
She's 16, so 2 years. Yeah, that's scary. Look, if I was in her shoes, I'd be. Me at 16, I'd have been terrified. I'd been like, I'm gonna get killed by a ghost.
But if this happens in my life, I'm not like, hey, Reddit, am I the asshole? It's like, no, I'm working with figuring out how to make her comfortable and working through that. Not like, hey, my 16-year-old stepdaughter's a real dick, right?
Let's see if the comments clear some stuff up. Here's a comment from OP. I was planning on sitting them down and discussing the house's history soon anyways, due to their lease ending after the summer. But I hadn't thought that my neighbors would gossip about what happened before I could talk to them first. Especially Kim, because she's still here. Someone else said, no one's the asshole. As a rule, I don't like to call teenagers the asshole here, especially ones going through major life changes like Kim is, which is why I said no one's the asshole versus not the asshole. Teens behave irrationally to adults all the time, and they have big emotions. It's not surprising to me that a teen is more creeped out by living in a murder house, as you called it, than an adult who understands the cost of homes and the fact that teen horror movies literally use murder houses as plot devices, especially given she was told this by a stranger and given too many details instead of having a trusted adult explain the house's history to her and why it's not dangerous to live there now. Though, it's the neighbor. I agree. The neighbor is an asshole. The neighbor's weird. He sees some 16-year-old he's never seen before in his life, and he's just like, you want to hear a scary story?
It's such a hilarious.
You want me to read it, right? Response from OP to that comment. This response really helped me see a new angle that I hadn't considered. I think that considering the details, domestic abuse, a man killed his wife, and the fact that her mother and I are about to get married, okay, the gears are turning. I need to have a serious heart-to-heart with her tonight. Hopefully dinner from her favorite place will help. Thank you for your perspective. That is true. This is the beginning.
He's flaunting his money.
Yeah.
Nothing like a little,
yeah.
nothing like a little PF Chang's to tide things over.
No one's the asshole but your neighbor. What were they thinking? I don't think Kim has a right to demand you sell your home, but I'm gonna give her leeway for being uncomfortable and anxious due to her grandmother's
He's 16.
and 60 and your
And a
neighbor being
child.
inappropriately detailed about the murder. I mean, look, I just think this is a fucking creepy ass neighbor.
Yeah.
I would be more scared of the neighbor than the murder house.
No, and I think especially the nature of the crime, like I think it's gonna be super important that he talk to her, and also, yeah, I mean, we're not even, I don't think we have time today to go into the, like, him being like, oh, like, I see myself as more of an uncle, like, blah, 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 like, that's,
yeah, that's definitely an added layer.
It's a whole different can of worms, or it's like, you know, I mean, maybe that's the discussions he had with his partner, like, hey, I don't want you to be a father figure, like, she doesn't need that, like, maybe there's another man that is or another person that's a father figure.
So
like,
2
Can I
would
tell
be
you?
3,
I feel like
4 would be 6.
You that
Alright.
neighbor. I'd be like walking.
Really?
Be like
You think
walking
you would
the
do
dog,
that?
and you'd be like, oh, you did. Really tough stuff happened there. Oh, it's crazy.
I think that's, but a kid though adds the layer of like. If I see a 6, one honestly, and I don't know who this neighbor is. The neighbor could have been another teenager.
This actually does remind me, because on my blog there's a family that moved into a murder house and they have a 16-year-old daughter, and I just had a very similar conversation.
Wow. Okay.
wait a second.
Wait a minute.
How recent is this post?
But also, like, look, if the neighbor's a grown man, I think it's weird that a 16-year-old girl was walking down the street and he's just like, hey, hey, why are you talking to us?
Like, so you know the Lord?
He was just trying to kick off a side quest.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. All right, next story. Am I the asshole for letting my friends call me daddy?
I think we can move on.
Excuse me?
All
Sir?
right, back to the show.
No.
All right, next
No.
story. Am I the asshole for letting my friends call me daddy?
Am I the asshole for letting my friends call me daddy? I need to know a little bit more for that. For me to even comprehend
I think we're good.
where this is.
For letting them. That means
For
they
letting
want
my friends
to.
call me daddy.
Yeah, letting them.
Yes,
What
I think this is a weird
does that
story.
mean, though?
All right, this is gonna be crazy.
What do you mean
For the
by
past year or
letting
so,
them?
I, a 25-year-old woman, have had the nickname Daddy in our friend group. It just struck throwaway. Yes, I think this is a weird story too. All right, this is gonna be crazy. For the past year or so, I, a 25-year-old woman, have had the nickname Daddy in our friend group.
Why?
It just started as a joke when we were all together, and I jokingly told a friend to stop being glued to your phone all the time. Millennials. We all laughed, and he said, "Sure, Mom." And I said, "I'm not your mother, but you may call me Daddy." So it was really just a joke that stuck. When we went bowling, someone entered my name as Daddy, and stuff like that has happened since then. Now on to the problem. A couple months ago, when we were all meeting up at a friend's place, they all screamed "Daddy" when I arrived, and apparently the host's girlfriend thought that was weird. She told me she was really freaked out with it. I explained it was just a joke. She said she kind of found it disgusting and told her boyfriend not to call me that anymore. We stopped the conversation there. The only thing that happened that night is when another friend called me Daddy. She made gagging noises, but no one said anything else about it. Small things have happened since then. Like, I know we talked about it behind my back, how I sexualize all my friends, have weird kinks and stuff. I'm literally asexual, LOL, but she doesn't know that. Now, at this point,
I'm
I'm
gonna tell her
frustrated
that.
and ask my friends not to call me daddy when she's around, hoping she and I can become better friends that way. Her boyfriend
No,
is still a
she's
great
just
friend,
not worth
and I don't
it.
want to make things difficult for something as stupid as a nickname. Not all
She's
of my
not
friends
worth it.
agree
She's
with me,
not
but
worth
I
it.
haven't
She's
really
not
been
worth it,
called
Chief.
daddy in her presence since then. But the big problem happened yesterday. We were all Skyping, not including her, but including her boyfriend, and playing Pictionary online together. In the game, you insert a name per player. The host put daddy as my name. We were playing for about 20 minutes when the girlfriend walked into the webcam's view for the first time.
Of course.
That she was in the room. She had heard daddy a few times at that point. She then said, you know, it's really wrong to be called daddy when you're not a father and not being addressed by a young child. Now I was very shocked at the sudden change of atmosphere. So I said, and I think I'm the asshole here, well, is it wrong for your boyfriend to call you sweetheart when you're so salty? And then his line disconnected.
Damn.
Oh, shit. Damn.
The Thunderdome really came in now.
Be an asshole when you drop bars. Yeah. None of us have been able to reach him or her since then. And I'm afraid we lost a friend because I didn't stop my friends from calling me daddy. It didn't even matter.
Man, she's not even
I
worth
wouldn't have
it,
missed
dog.
the nickname. I'm also going to
It's
apologize
a
for the salty
nickname.
comment because that was out of line anyway. And also,
Nah.
I don't know if it's something,
Nah.
if someone could
You're
tell me why
fine,
daddy is so
Chief.
offensive,
Keep
it's possible it's a very wrong thing to say, and I think, no, this lady's crazy.
The girlfriend.
The girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the girlfriend is being so weird.
I think she probably came at it the wrong way when she was like, hey, like, it's like gross when they call you, like, maybe like, I'm uncomfortable with it. And if you frame it like that, then everyone might be a little more sympathetic. But like calling it like objectively gross or objectively like blah blah blah, it's like, okay, like I don't, that's,
it just sounds controlling as hell. Like to come into a friend group and be trying to change a dynamic. And also she's like, when someone said it, like she made gagging noises. I'm like, you in high school? Like, what the hell? Like,
You guys don't understand. When I was a kid, my dog got hit by a car, and the license plate said daddy.
see, we didn't think of that. That's reframing it.
Think of that. As far as nicknames,
Yeah, I need to get the
pretty mild.
refrigerator.
I feel like a lot of people have some
Right.
weird ass nicknames.
What about Daddy-O?
Daddy-O?
I need a
That's cool.
refrigerator
I might
to
draw
get
the line
my
at daddy.
stuff
You know,
back.
some people have like problem with voice, right? So I'm trying to think like if the nickname was Hey Moisey, like you know, like maybe she just has some weird.
But that's fine if she's like, hey, I don't want to go. But no, but they're having a Skype call
Yeah.
where they're just them and she comes into it. I just think this
Lead,
is super.
What if she's
iron,
trying to mix things up with
redstone.
started to call her boyfriend Daddy,
I do not
and
know
then
this.
enter
A
this
device
this
frame.
person
This is going
whose
to be
nickname
bad.
is Daddy, and she's like, I can't.
She's ruining it for him.
She's ruining the daddy dynamic.
I'm curious, you know, because she said like
That's
I
need glass.
small things have happened since then. Like I know she talked about me behind my back, how I sexualize all my friends, have weird kinks and stuff.
That part, that's
I'm
weird.
literally asexual, but she doesn't know that. I think she's.
Yeah, that's
I
like
think
you're
this
making.
woman's a bad person.
Yeah, you're making
this
shit up.
girlfriend is a bad person.
I Daddy's being very mature.
Kitten would be where maybe I'd be like, all right, this is a little strange. Whatever. But you guys do your thing.
I think Daddy should reach out and be like, look, I don't control the nickname. I know that it makes you uncomfortable. I've asked them to stop saying it in front of you.
Daddy did all they could in their power.
Daddy don't know likey, and I'm sorry for saying what I said to you, but know that you are not the asshole. This person is crazy, and this happens in friendships. Your friends start dating people who are weird, and
Where's the
I think
generator
for
I
the
just
sake of the
made?
friendship,
Oh yeah, I
it
put
is
it in
good
here.
to try and mend it because you don't want to lose a friend, and you also don't want to be the person that's like, hey, your girlfriend sucks. Don't get in between them. Let him figure that out on his own.
Comments here. Not the asshole daddy.
Yes.
Someone said.
Daddy, my daddy.
Not the asshole. She was probably jealous and afraid of losing her boyfriend. Based on the little you put in here, she sounds controlling, and when/if they break up, she will blame herself. I laughed. That was a good comeback. OP responded, that did cross my mind that she was jealous. There are other girls in our friend group. One is gay and the other is in a relationship, so maybe that's why she has a problem with only me. But I'm not even the closest with him. I mean, it's perceived, you know, it's not about...
You see a single daddy, you make it overprotective.
Yeah. Not the asshole. Accusing you of being overly sexual with friends is rich, coming from someone who takes an innocent nickname and insists that it is sexual and wrong. Someone's got issues. Unrelated. I found your comeback hilarious. Thanks for the laugh. Someone said, overall not the asshole, but the comment on Skype was an asshole comment, and I'm glad you're apologizing for it. I think she is justified in being a little iffy about the nickname, but she is trying to say that it's wrong whenever she should be saying that she's insecure about it. She needs to take the blame for the change she wants to have.
I think, yeah, taking the ownership for your own feelings is important.
Yeah, she's trying to come and be like, you all are wrong. It's because it's such a recent change. I feel like in the past few years, it's been mainstream, like daddy. Like, it now it has so many layers of connotations to it.
Yeah.
But, like,
I
don't
think
know.
that's where it's coming
I'm
from.
thinking, like, nicknames can be whatever. If it's amongst a group of friends and they're just joking around, I don't care. Like,
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna ask your friends to stop calling me daddy. From now on, I'm Big Joe.
yeah. What if she just like, okay, tell me mommy. Alright, next story.
Tell us the next story, daddies.
Alright.
Daddy, read to me.
Sing me a song, daddy. Sorry, daddy.
Am I the asshole for telling my colleague that she basically called her newborn daughter Luigi?
Nothing wrong with that.
First of all, Luigi's dope. That's my go-to on Super Smash Brothers. I'll kick your ass.
Question. Okay. I'm using a throwaway because my main contains mentions of the company I work for and some personal pictures.
It's Strikeouts.
Steve. I'm an Italian woman who works for an Italian company that has a close working relationship with a few American companies. More specifically, I am the Italian liaison of a kind of big department in one of these companies. So basically, everything that my American colleagues decide comes through me, and I relay it to my Italian colleagues. So many jokes in my head right now. Okay.
What's happening at the HQ?
Can you tell them we want to buy more stock? Like, great. They want to buy more stock.
Thank you for buying my stuff. He works at Nintendo. He's like Charles Martinet.
Oh, we got a letter. Oh, we gotta get the olive oil off of it first. In the years I've worked there, I've made good friends with some of these American colleagues. Last summer, one of them, S, who's in her early 30s, invited me to her house in the U.S. I've been to the U.S. many times before that, but always for work, never for leisure. So I was really happy. It's the 4th of July, and S has organized a nice party. I met other people who work for the same company. One of them was M, a woman in her late 20s. S&M, a woman in her late 20s with her newborn baby girl, Gigi. At some point in the evening, M tells me that her husband is Italian too, and that they wanted to choose an Italian name for their baby to honor his ancestry. So they went with Gigi. I knew this name was used for girls in the US, but I didn't know people thought it was an Italian name. So I tell her that while Gigi exists in Italy as a name, it is not a girl name. And in Italy, there's a law that says you can't name a child with something that is traditionally used for the opposite gender. So that's fascinating.
That's a law?
Also, that neutral names do not exist in the label.
So I need 10 and copper.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean? I tell her that Gigi in Italy is a nickname for Luigi. If she comes to Italy and introduces her child as Gigi, Italians will think she has a little boy named Luigi. At this point, poor M starts wailing.
Yeah, that's just laws overseas, and even then,
at this point, poor M starts wailing, sobbing that I'm just being mean, I'm making fun of her, that I'm jealous of her, and saying that her daughter is not named after a stupid video game character.
Bro. Alright. She's young, she doesn't know any better, but it's a law over there. Like, she's jealous. That's a bit ridiculous to say. I don't know. the fuck?
Oh,
Not stupid. Not stupid. He has a whole mansion.
He is a man.
Wait.
I tell her that Luigi, and Mario
it's
too for that matter,
10.
are completely normal Italian names that have existed for centuries, or even thousands of years, before the creation of video games. This does not calm her down at all. Em is having a nervous breakdown, and someone calls her husband, who is at work,
What happened?
What's going on? Mamma mia!
Yeah, I think this is where
I'm
it's
sorry,
going
the Mario
down.
franchise set back Italians 300 years.
She's like, oh, you know your name, that...
I'm sorry, the Mario franchise set back Italians 300 years.
Here.
She's like, oh, you know your name, that name
Lead
is Luigi in Italy, and she pulls out a green shell. She's like, what did you just say? Okay.
So she runs out of the room. She throws a banana behind her.
They meet shortly after, and I realize I've inadvertently ruined the party for everyone. Am I the asshole for telling this girl her baby's name is not what she thinks it is? Edit. Yes, M's husband is not really Italian, just has some ancestry. As far as I know, he doesn't speak any Italian, nor has been to the country, but M told her they wanted to visit with the baby in the near future. That's why I told her that if she introduces her newborn to Italians as Gigi, they will initially think it's a boy. The husband doesn't even have an Italian sounding name. He's named something waspy, like John Smith Jr. That's so funny.
Dude, and if they think, here's what they do, when you bring a boy to Italy, they make a boy, they start putting Parmesan cheese on it. They just start cheesing your baby with like
and some
no,
black
they won't even
pepper.
ask. Yeah.
This is a fair warning.
Yes.
Not the asshole. She literally stated a fact.
Yeah.
Land the device.
It is such an American thing for her to have. My husband's Italian too.
Yeah.
Like, no, your husband's American.
Yeah.
And has not been to Italy. Is named John Smith Jr.
And also Gigi, like, I don't know, you can do whatever you want. Like, and if they don't like it in Italy, like, I'm sorry.
She's also not saying your baby's not going to be welcome in Italy.
Yeah, it's just
she's
like
saying, oh, people are going to think she's a boy.
Because it's a boy's name in Italy, and that's like, sorry you didn't Google it.
The original folks are not assholes. She's just Italian. Sounds like there's some language barrier.
Just
Why?
Italian.
What?
Yeah.
How?
There's just a lack of tact. Perhaps of, I guess in the future, if you notice someone starting to get upset, maybe just back off.
Look, she is Italian, so they're a cultural. What she's saying is probably she's like, yeah, it's fine, and she's getting. This is also not even an American response. That's just kind of a very intense response.
It's not like you threw a.
Thank God she found out. Thank God she found out here and not going to Italy and.
Think about how funny that would have been, though.
Dude, it's so funny. While the current laws prohibit parents from choosing a masculine name for a baby girl and vice versa, more and more parents are going to court to fight for the name they prefer for their child and winning.
Yeah. Good.
It sounds like an old.
You have to fucking go to court.
Yeah. Okay, some comments here. Not the asshole. You gave her information about names in Italy. Her reaction was very unexpected. Sometimes normal names in one country mean something quite different in other countries, or they are used for the opposite sex. It is not a big deal, and it is also not something that you have to hide in order to prevent hurting her feelings. Because getting hurt by it is an abnormal response. My real name, not uncommon in my own country, means something very dark in another language. No big deal.
Share.
What
My name, Bukake, means something.
I gotta go with you're the asshole. A soft one. What was the point? The baby is named. Was she named in ignorance?
I don't think she's an asshole.
Oh, absolutely. But they're not going to rename her. What you told her amounted to you f***ed up naming your child. Wouldn't make anyone happy.
Really.
And really neither you nor she had anything to gain from you educating her. The proper response is to say, how cute, and then gossip about it with your friends back home. Someone said, you are the asshole, but you might need to learn to read the room. And someone said, Italian here, born and raised in Italy. Gigi is a perfectly acceptable nickname for Luigina, which is a female version of Luigi. You are wrong.
Luigina?
Luigina?
Luigina.
Beautiful name. Why haven't we seen that, Nintendo?
Nintendo, hire this man.
Luigina.
It was right there.
So, edit. So the general consensus seems to be that I should have read the room, and I agree. I don't generally hang out with mums and children, so I was a little out of my depth, and I just thought that would have been funny trivia. Also, Em had been telling the group earlier that she was upset that her maternity leave had ended so soon, and hated not being with little Gigi all the time.
You're like, well, in Italy.
I should have connected the dots. Another edit. Please stop bashing on Em. Yes, her reaction is over the top, but she's a nice person, and a young mom protective of her child. I didn't mean for this to become an attack on her character. Next story might be a bit of a tone shift. This
Am I the
Oh, I
asshole for
totally
stabbing my boss?
shit,
yeah, it's like,
thought it was the other
Alright.
thing.
This comes from relationship advice, so this isn't about who's the asshole. This is just general story.
How we're breaking the format.
I, a 34-year-old woman, was stabbed, and now my soon-to-be ex-husband, 34-year-old male, wants to cancel the divorce. What's going on, man?
I
need
was
to get done.
stabbed, and he
You
wants...
just called out that this was going to be a stabbing story. I also want to point that out.
I talk about stabbing a lot.
Okay. I, a 34-year-old woman, was stabbed, and now my soon-to-be ex-husband, 34-year-old man, wants to cancel the divorce.
I think I need a little more info.
Okay, here we go.
It's like
I
a
need to
pity.
feel
I'm like, oh, you've been stabbed. I
that.
need to. I can't. Okay. I
He's
get
way
it.
down
Alright.
the line,
My soon-to-be
like diamonds
ex-husband
are.
and I had been married for 12 years. We got
So
married
fun.
at 22. About 4 months ago,
God
he asked
damn
me for a
it.
divorce
Stop
after
doing
confessing
that.
to me that he was having an affair and that he was in love with that person. At first, I took it badly, but I have always said that if there is a third person in a relationship, someone is left out. I also didn't want to waste my energy dating for something I know won't come back.
Good for you.
His mother got sick, and I had to take care of her at night since the lady is quite picky with other people. She always treated me badly, but I still took care of her. This delayed the divorce a bit. I guess they were using me as a nurse or babysitter, LOL. A month and a half ago, I was assaulted when I was going to work. I don't have a car. My husband always drove me, but he stopped after filing for divorce. I didn't have much with me, just my cell phone and about $10, so I was stabbed for not carrying much in your pockets. Latin American moment is what she put in parentheses.
No, I think that's what you. That was kind of Shane.
No, that is
like, wow.
American moment. It's what it says here. My emergency contact was my husband and the whole thing. He now doesn't want a divorce since he says that this altercation opened his eyes and that he really can't imagine a life without me. It was going to be an uncontested divorce since this type of divorce is totally free in my country and I'm stingy enough to not want to pay the lawyer's fees. But now he doesn't want a divorce. I'm living with my mother and my soon-to-be ex-husband comes every day to screw up my existence. What do I do to get rid of it? I already made it clear to him that I don't want anything from him. Besides, I already hired a lawyer to advise me, but he says it's taking too long because he doesn't want a divorce.
I need.
Interesting. So she got robbed and stabbed, and now he's suddenly like, oh my god, you almost died. I actually want to be with you.
Stab him back.
The husband or the robber?
Both.
Anyone.
Okay. There's some comments here.
Crusher
OP
can
said,
also do
Latin moment, that is Latin American moment. Things that happen in Spanish-speaking countries or third world countries, LOL. When they assault you, they are supposed to take what you are carrying and simply leave, whether it is a lot or a little. In Latin America, sometimes people who don't have much to steal are stabbed or attacked for the simple fact of not having much. I don't know if that happens in other first world countries, LOL. It implies that you are being stabbed for taking up the attacker's time with your poverty. Crying, laughing emojis. Damn.
What?
This happened yesterday. She's like, ugh, am I right?
Hashtag relatable.
Holy crap.
Hey, we all cope in our own ways.
She's a tank.
Also, like, that's so rude. You robbed me, and I wasn't good enough for you, and now you're gonna put a hole in my body?
Yeah, it's extra fucked
Thank
up.
God I have a blue
Someone else said,
as well.
he doesn't have a life insurance policy on him, does he? Who stabbed you, and is it being thoroughly investigated? I've seen lots of cases where the divorcing
Hopefully
partner
that
who's having an
is.
affair may go after the soon-to-be ex as a way to claim insurance money. But I could be obviously completely wrong about his intentions. Please just use your best judgment.
Or
and
it
don't
could
go back to
be
him if there was an affair.
It's
If
not
he is a
much.
beneficiary to any money from you, change it immediately before you go forward with the divorce. Change it to a relative you trust. Just sounds very sketchy to me.
Yeah, it sounds
she responds,
sketchy.
no, he doesn't have a policy or anything like that. I really don't think it was him. Believe it or not, this sometimes happens.
Yeah, it does. I've seen the
I
thing.
don't know that I have any advice. I just wish her the best and get the fuck out of that relationship. Just tell him, like, hey, you're never getting
She should have an affair.
No, she shouldn't, because then
he would
potentially he has like a claim.
Okay, ignore my advice. I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry.
I think you just need to look him in the eyes and say,
Ooh, yeah.
and then he's gonna be like, I'm out.
Someone says, your ex knows you don't drive. You got stabbed because he no longer cares about you enough to make sure you're safe. Head for the hills. Stop looking after his mom and making his life easier when he doesn't do the same for you. You shouldn't have to almost die for him to realize he cares. Run, run, run. OP responded, I haven't been able to take care of his mother since the altercation, but I don't really mind taking care of her. My mother always says, do good things and you will get good things.
Well, she sucks.
Maybe I'm an asshole for saying this. She did good things and she got stabbed.
She did.
I don't know if karma's working in this sphere right now. Maybe.
I need to get
Okay,
over
it could have been worse maybe. She could have gotten stabbed twice.
It's true. Thank God she was taking care of his mom.
Just saying, you never know.
Twice. I also just, regardless of that, I'm just like, dude, stop taking care. Like, part of the divorce is also removing his whole life out of your life. I know things are very different per country and per culture, but that's my personal take on that.
Okay, OP, make his life hell. Start eating real stinky foods. Your breath is gonna leak. Get yourself some nut-flavored shampoo.
Yeah. Almond oil smells good.
It's gonna make him itchy, and then he's gonna be like, I can't stand being around you. You'll be like, you're trying to control me, and I love my body wash.
Good. Smart.
And then flaunt your money.
And then pay for his meals.
Last comment here. Tell him that his affair opened your eyes to the fact that he's a dishonorable man you don't trust, don't love, and don't respect, and that you can't imagine a life with him. If he keeps showing up, call the police and have him trespass from the property and, if possible, get a restraining order because he's harassing you. Also tell everyone you both know, your family, his family, all friends, that he cheated and left for his affair partner, and now is harassing you and adding to your burdens. Yeah. I mean, look, that,
wait a minute, what the hell?
me, I'm like, that's sound advice. Something that I notice on Reddit, and just in general, I mean, this makes sense as humans, someone will be writing some story like, hey, I live in X.
I just did, I
and
went to fucking
you'll see a
stupid
comment that
time.
I'm like, that's American advice for if you're in America.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe it does apply. I'm just saying, I sometimes I'm like, that, yeah, you're bringing up a lot of things
let's just get
that
over
may
it.
not apply. It's why, like, in legal advice subreddits, you have to say what state you're in, because things are different state by state. Like, so the advice you're giving may just not be applicable. But I do think the majority of it is pretty universal. Just being like, I don't want to be with you ever.
Every time he walks into a room, dick is.
Yeah.
It's not enough to get the cops called on you, but it really is to mean it. And over time,
And he's gonna sound really embarrassed when he tries to report it.
and he's gonna hate it. Right? He can't even complain as long as like, what is she doing? She's like flicking. And you flick it. It's like, oh, there's something. She flicks it.
Pretty good.
Stand up.
No. It's time for our last story, and it's a short one, but it's a good one.
Daddy, no, I want more.
Daddy!
The comments.
Daddy, chill.
Awful. Alright, the comments on this video are gonna be a mix of daddy and what did you say about the N64? Alright. This comes from True Off My Chest.
Oh.
So these
Love this subreddit.
Oh, that works.
Just a confession.
Somehow that
Husband
works.
said, hold up, men are talking during a dinner.
Bro.
Let's hear him out.
Nah.
Hear him out.
My friend Spencer was loudly talking about the N64.
Okay.
Nah.
We went out Wednesday night for dinner with all of our friends.
Man.
It was our friend's engagement dinner. It was a group of us. I interrupted my husband while he was telling a story, and he said, hold up, honey, men are talking. Everyone else started laughing, both men and women. I awkwardly laughed since everyone else was laughing. I was embarrassed the whole night, and barely said anything.
Wait, what the hell?
Husband asked me what was wrong when we got home, because I was being short with him. I told him what was wrong, and he claims he was joking, but he apologized for hurting my feelings. I'm trying to get over it since it happened the other day, but I'm still holding a grudge. Okay. Look, maybe we don't need context. I'm just saying it's so short that there isn't the context of the whole conversation.
Maybe it was hilarious. Have we considered that?
Maybe it was really funny. The only way is if it's said sarcastically of like, it's a shitty thing, it's not the right, there's no way, I can't.
I look.
Look, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say
No, like, you toss me the shovel. I mean, sometimes you make a joke and it doesn't land. And I think the husband made a joke and it didn't land with the wife, and so it's on him to apologize.
He did apologize.
Oh, yeah.
He apologized for hurting my feelings.
Also, if he made that joke but then continued to tell his story and didn't, then it's not a joke.
That's very true. Like, cause like I don't want like I might not have made this exact joke, but I made similar jokes where you act problematic as a bit, and it's unfortunate sometimes. Sometimes it happens. You know, but then you immediately like remedy those your actions.
I can't.
What I think I'm trying to say is you say that and you're making fun of dudes who say that. That's the like you're playing the villain. Like it's a joke where you're saying a villainous thing to make.
And then immediately you're like, oh honey, what were you saying?
Yeah,
honey,
that's
get
the
in
problem.
here, honey, like talk over me, like oh yeah.
Exactly. It's got to be said tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And if it's not delivered as such, it comes across more. The problem also though is, you know, when we take like the context of our videos, like we are here to be funny. So that is the purpose of what we're doing. When you're at a dinner, an engagement dinner,
Is it an engagement?
It was their friends. It was our friends' engagement dinner. So I don't know. It depends on the context. It also, at the very least, you know, he singled her out, and like it's a joke, but you're singling out one person at a dinner.
I think to the original post, you let your husband? Yeah. To the original post, you let your husband know that you do not like this kind of joke. Let's hope that he knows now to not make that kind of joke in front of you, and I think do your best to.
Especially at their at their
Yeah, it's going to be.
Right, that's what, yeah.
This is
Don't
just
hold on
fun.
to it though, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, make a decision of like, if it's a pattern, if this is pattern behavior, yeah, it's a major problem.
This is
The
some
one-off
easy
joke is like, okay, I know he was joking, but
he made it stuff, and make him suffer for it, and totally try to not hold.
Yeah, time to flick that.
Yes.
Comments, throw it back at him and ask, where are the men then?
That's the most good for
Yeah, then it's tense. Then it's like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
the girls are fighting.
Ooh, a certified Redditor comment. Here, I've never seen one of these before. By everyone's reactions, his response was meant clearly in jest and actually was a more graceful way of addressing being interrupted by using humor. The thing is, you were interrupting him in the middle of a story, which is rude as hell. Oh, that's why it's a
certified Redditor moment.
Oh,
the Redditor said, actually, the men were talking. And he was right.
But have you considered that men should talk first?
Sorry, this is a woman trying to give her opinion?
Hold on, my fedora was covering my eyes.
Let me read that again. My fedora was in my face.
Yeah. Someone else said, I can't help but to picture him standing there with a monocle and pointy mustache while saying that.
Okay, no, then it would be hilarious.
And then Opie said, this made me laugh. LOL.
Yeah.
Someone said, I think you need to have him promise to not make jokes like that in the future because of how badly that hurt and embarrassed you. That's what I would do with my husband. Opie said, yeah, I'll have him promise not to do it again. We joke in private a lot, but this kind of stuff is just embarrassing in public, not gonna lie.
Especially when it's a big group and you're like legitimately like, I don't know, like, I mean, personally, I might be uncomfortable in like a big group. Like maybe she doesn't even know them that well, and the husband makes this like, you know, and throws a Hail Mary with this crazy joke, and you know, it's just like, okay, like
it was a chance.
You're not like, you know, it's. I'm already like othered in this situation.
Right. I think if you're gonna make jokes of that caliber that are like at someone's expense, you have to be on the same level as everyone in the everyone on the same.
Oh, I can use a metal
on the
push.
same page. And if you're unsure of that, you're gonna say those
well, that's gonna be easier to do. That's gonna be way
if someone gets hurt at a joke, then it wasn't a good joke. Right? Then someone got hurt from it.
1 for 2.
And you know, people will laugh,
2 for 4.
but also people are gonna laugh.
It's still the same ratio.
So we don't actually know.
It feels easier.
We don't actually know what the reaction truly was, what people really thought of it, but yeah, I think that can be fixed.
And what is this episode of No Man Talking?
Damn.
What's weird too is that she interrupted a tirade he had about how Jews control the media, so it's.
That was crazy. She did that.
That's the context we needed. Well, what a way to end it. Zach, thank you so much for being here. Daddy's talking about his murder house, okay?
Whoa.
Thanks for being here, man. Thank you. Of course. And Spencer, it's always great.
Thank you. I have a lot of fun. It's great to just listen.
Yeah, man.
No.
For sure.
Definitely not 3.
Yeah, so Zach, where can people find you?
Google.
Got it. Google Zach. All right. Thanks once again. Thanks for being here. This was great. And thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what other kind of subreddits and themes you want to see.
Am I gonna come off like an asshole for that?
No,
Okay,
no, that's hilarious. I'm addressing that I think that's hilarious.
Am I the asshole for denying my opportunity to plug myself on smart stories?
I think people know.
If they don't care.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah, I need to get a cobblestone generator. Fucking graphite. It shouldn't be hard to get. It's not hard to get. I know how to get it. I mean, arc furnace, sure, the coke oven. Not the. No. I need to get to the arc furnace. And that is already 5 fucking years down the line.
Why'd I say I'd man the grill? I don't man things.
You don't
We're
man
back with
anything.
more Reddit stories.
And you're not gonna man
My
me
guests
into
today are
going
Chance
into your
and
shit
Amanda.
site.
Hi.
Greetings. There's a reason you both are here today, and it's because the theme is
These are
service
going to be useful
industry,
for something.
and I
So
believe-
far, every side item needs to be used.
Yeah, you both have experience.
I need this.
Whoa.
You both worked in the service industry.
Since I was like 14.
Same. Yeah. We both had so many different places that we worked at.
I've worked at so many different restaurants.
And was it fun?
I would say yes.
Some places, yes.
Were super fun. Like you were always for the people.
Yes.
Mine wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't I have blaze?
That was always about money.
No, not me. I was always about.
I should have
all
blaze
5
powder lying around at least.
Yeah, and that's why you work here.
And that's why I work here.
But I'm sure you have tons of stories. Insane
there it
customers,
is.
insane experiences, and we're about to hear a bunch from some other people.
Oh, I can't
anonymously
wait.
on the internet. So let's hop into
So
it.
is it about restaurants and bars?
It's probably a lot. It's service industry in general. In general, so there might be, and it might be from different perspectives. Might be from the perspective of the customer, might be from the worker.
Oh,
I love that, but I don't trust
I don't get
anything.
what I get from
Anything the
those.
customer says.
Never.
The customer's never right. They are almost never right.
And the compactor.
Never.
Like very few and far between. Okay. Well, I think this first one has to do with a customer.
Great.
So let's see. This comes from legal advice. Regular customer keeps telling us that her latte causes seizures.
Alright.
Okay, stop drinking the coffee. Stop. Like one seizure is enough. It must be a really good latte. Okay. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We have a regular customer at our coffee shop that has autoimmune epilepsy. They claim that when their drink is made wrong, after we correctly remake it 15 times, they experience seizures. I don't want to be liable for them ordering something that causes them to have these seizures.
Then
My
deny
coworker
them
and I highly doubt that
service.
food and beverages cause seizures, but they order a tiny fraction of an amount of espresso in their latte. It is a half caffeinated beverage, but every
Then
drink
just
made
deny
correctly
them
is sent back because
service.
it tastes burnt. So we decided on giving them half of a caffeinated shot order. Yeah, essentially. We feel as if they're trying to plot against us because they have a spreadsheet of workers who make their drink right. Sorry if this was put under the wrong thread. We all genuinely feel like they want to sue us for giving them seizures. Edit. I'd also like to point out that this customer is certainly a problem. They would stalk a barista from a different location and try to convince said barista to not move in with the boyfriend before marriage. The customer ended up finding out where the boyfriend worked and tried to get him fired from his job. Now this customer is at our establishment after getting banned from their previous location. People in our region that have worked in our company for 10 plus years say that this customer has always been a problem. As a supervisor, I had spent a whole hour working on their drink. 15 plus drinks later, no solution. They ended up just taking the last drink because they realized it was a waste of their time. Next day, they asked for 5 remakes of their drink. I got fed up and told them that I'll call them an ambulance if they get another remake. That's where I can issue you a refund because we are not going to use the solution of the story. They agreed to a refund and have now consecutively asked for refunds these past 2 or so months. So, quick note about this. We don't know this person's medical history, nor do we know where this story is based, and, laws, whenever it comes to legal advice, laws depend on where you live. Usually in legal advice codes, they state what state they're in, because that affects the advice that people give. We're not here to give legal advice, because we're not, we don't...
Lawyers.
Yeah. But, this, just in general, sounds brutal.
Stop serving them.
I know.
Sounds like the last place did.
What are you supposed to do about that? Because it is weird that they stalked the person. Like, that's like...
I bet they're lying about it. I know their ass is lying about
That's the
it.
beans.
I just know they are.
I know, but
Or
like,
if they're not, it's probably not as severe as they say they are.
Yeah.
But they're trying to fuck with you.
Person needs to get a
I'm a firm believer that they're trying to fuck with you.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like extreme behavior. The stalking stuff is
way too much.
oh my god. Like, who cares about the remaking of the Yeah. We're talking about something
also
else
the
here.
spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet
I
was the
would
biggest
not-
red flag, honestly.
I would not
Forget
wanna
the
be-
stalking, the spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet.
This person sounds, frankly, lonely. And they're just obsessed, and, like, this is their spot, and this is the most human interaction they have.
To be honest, I feel like that's exactly
where
what
did I put
it
it?
is. I think that they're lonely, and this is how they want to have interaction. When I worked at Dunkin' Donuts back in the day, there was a woman who had so much sunscreen on her face, so much sunscreen, and she would be there my entire shift, like start to finish, and she would always come up and complain about her coffee, and she was like,
At Dunkin' Donuts.
at Dunkin' Donuts, she would say that
I expect craft coffee.
she would say that it was burnt, and I was like 15 years old, so I was like, oh, I want to make this woman happy. She would never, ever tip. Like, she was always there every shift, and finally my manager was like, we can't keep remaking her coffee. She's just here every day.
Yeah.
First in, like, last out.
You gotta set healthy boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
she's a friend.
like, as I said, the medical aspect, we don't know. We don't know these people. But I do think for a lot of people who ask to have drinks remade very consistently, I can't help but think it's a little
And
bit of a high
crucibles
they
are
get. Yeah. From
unbelievable.
It's the pickles guy from SpongeBob.
I mean, it's literally unbelievable.
The little pickles.
I don't see why a glitch machine, if it needs fire underneath it anyway.
Not a lawyer, but I
I
have
don't
epilepsy.
see it.
It makes absolutely no
Why?
sense why someone would risk a seizure over a coffee drink not being prepared properly.
Correct.
Taste and smell alone is no indicator
Yeah,
of a
it
food
needs
or drink
heat
will trigger a
sources
seizure. If the
anyway.
customer's seizures are triggered so easily,
I
they
don't
should
see
take
the
proper
point.
precautions. Someone responded to that saying 100%. I also have epilepsy and avoid anything that can trigger me like the plague. The only way she could tell if the drink is wrong is by tasting it, which could cause a seizure. There's no way I'd risk that, and I'd say most people with epilepsy would have similar sentiments. Someone else said, sometimes you have to fire the customer.
Nothing. Maybe that's the reason.
Someone said
Maybe because there's
someone said
nothing in it.
3 remakes. You
It's
get
just
3.
like, well,
After the 3rd one, it's
That's
I'm
it.
terribly sorry, but we're unable to accommodate you, and
Yes.
here's a refund. Boom, please leave.
No,
15
I'm
plus
not
lattes
serving
is them just straight up f***ing with you. What
Yeah,
a
they're
terrible
fucking
tool.
3? No. You get the first one. You get the remake. Nope. This is what we've given you. This is the try again. We're not trying 3 times.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Someone, same. Also, my favorite thing to do is when you have the person that always asks for a remake. You know what I started doing after a while? I'd be like, oh my god, you're so right, I'll remake it. And I go in the corner, and I shake it, and I give it right back. And I'm like, here you go. And they're like, so much better.
Yeah.
We've had that.
I've done that. I
had
pull that
stories like
bullshit
that.
too.
Well, it's true. It's
Because they just get it's in their f***ing head. 15 sips,
They
done
took
coffee.
15 sips of 15 lattes. They've drank so much coffee just now.
epilepsy. Sorry.
But I agree with these comments of if you have a very serious medical condition that could be triggered by
Yeah.
coffee, Stop
I would
drinking
wouldn't
coffee.
trust a barista.
No.
A barista's not a doctor.
And that's really scary to have epilepsy because there's so many things that can trigger it, especially like movies nowadays with like the flashing. But I feel like if maybe just like, don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah, and the responsibility of like movies and stuff is to let you know, hey, there's stuff in this. But you are going to a coffee shop, you know there's caffeine in it. Yeah. They're telling you the amount that they're giving you, and it's just this is obviously this person, like I said, remove the medical stuff. They're a stalker, so I don't really have much empathy for them.
That's so the industry though. You meet people that you're like, how are you walking this planet?
Yes.
Man, I need to get to
That's
here.
what happens when you work in the
But
restaurant.
I need coke.
Is you're like,
I have to coke.
how
I
are
need
you
to get a
on this
mansion.
And also, there's so many times with groups of people.
I think I just
where
have
I'm
to
like,
bite the bullet and get
figure out
to the
how to pay
mansion.
this
I
check
think
together.
that's
Like,
what
you're
I have to
grown-ass
do.
adults,
Really
like,
start automating.
You have never gone to a restaurant
I think
together.
I have
Maybe
to.
you haven't, but like here in 2023, like
Yes.
split it, Venmo, like come on now.
Yep.
How are you guys operating in real life?
Yep.
Because that don't make no sense.
Yes.
I love this next one. Okay. Okay. This one's awesome. We might have a legend based on the title, but I might be very wrong. Am I the asshole because I brought a bottle of ranch into a restaurant? Absolutely not. That's a legend. You're right. We'll see. We will see. Maybe we're gonna eat our words here. How big is the bottle? Yeah. I've got the ranch. Last night I went to dinner with Michael. It was our third date, and he took me to one of his favorite restaurants. It was a hole-in-the-wall Polish/Hungarian place. We ordered our food, and he ordered a sampler plate, so I could try different things. There are very few things with ranch.
Like, that's bullshit,
It
man.
helps make some things easier to eat.
It's just
so
doing
I always have it
nothing.
with my meals. When we get our food, I ask for some ranch.
Well,
The
oh
waiter
my
said they
god,
didn't
I
have any,
hate it
and
when it
offered
does
to bring
that.
out some kind of sour cream
Why?
and dill sauces. I tried them and they just weren't the same. I told Michael I'd be right back. Took my wallet and left the restaurant. I had seen a convenience store close by when we arrived, so I went there, bought a bottle of ranch, and came back. Michael looked shocked, but didn't say anything and ate his food. The food was great, and we got some conversation going. When the waiter came over and said outside food wasn't allowed, I said dressing isn't outside food, and they didn't have what I needed to enjoy my meal. I didn't want to ruin the evening, so I took it out to my car and returned. When we finished and left, Michael thanked me for coming out with him, but said it was really off-putting that I had to leave and go buy a bottle of dressing instead of just going one meal without it. Yeah. I told him I wouldn't have had to do that if they had ranch or any dressings like a normal restaurant. He didn't
Well,
walk
they're not
me
a
to my
normal
car or
restaurant,
anything and just
aren't
left.
they?
I went home and told my roommate about my date and his attitude, and she asked me if I was being serious. She thinks I had bad etiquette and embarrassed Michael to the point that he was probably going to stop talking to me. I don't think what I did was really all that bad. It was a condiment, not an entire meal from someplace. Was I wrong for what I did? I redact the legend. Definitely not.
Dude, you are judging.
I thought this was gonna I thought this was gonna be like Olive Garden. Yeah. It was gonna be like, I'm sorry man, I know you have ranch, but you don't have enough. Yeah. I need so much ranch.
You are judging a cultural, like, you are judging.
Yeah, already it's not like a chain restaurant or anything. It sounds like a mom and pop
Polish
something.
Hungarian place.
That's not a.
With dill and sour cream, which is exactly like.
Sounds delicious.
It sounds amazing.
It sounds really good. The dill sauce. Then you should have. I mean, I don't know if she clearly probably just didn't know what type of food this was gonna be. Like she thought. I don't. This just sounds like someone who's very American centric, like. A normal restaurant. Yeah, normal. Like probably has only been to chain restaurants. This is finally like.
The thing is, it's great. It's good on her to like try.
No, I
other
need to
things,
get
try new
to the
things,
thing.
but-
Because
Well, also, it's not even a matter of like,
Just
are you the asshole? It's
getting-
more like, that's just a really dumb thing
just
to do.
getting
on
this
like
alone,
on early
it is
days.
unbelievably
I love
unbelievable.
that he's just consistently Michael.
Yeah, this person didn't start off strong by just being like, last night I went to dinner with Michael. It's like, oh, what?
The one that got away.
Yeah. I guess if you're like telling this story, like, last night I went to dinner with Seth. What you need to know about Seth? We didn't get any of that.
No, it was just
Zero
sounds
context. Don't know their age. Don't know what's going on here. Horrible thing to do on a date.
Also, I think it's a little bit weird that Michael didn't say anything to her coming back with ranch.
Yeah, we don't know.
Like, maybe-
We don't know. I think this person would leave that shit out. But we don't know. But also, I don't know. If someone did that, if I'm
I'm the type that if I was on a date and I was like, hey, I love this restaurant, I love this place, is really awesome, it's this hole in the wall, and you're there, and then she's like, do you have ranch? And I'm like, no, and she's like, I'll be right back, and leaves, and comes back with a bottle of ranch that she just bought, I'd be like, oh, and in my head I'd be like, I'm about to never talk to you again. Yeah, I'll sit here for this meal. I'll also point out the fact that that was crazy what you did in a very jokey, funny way. I'll be like, you really like ranch? So like, I hope you like, because it's one thing to be like, I really have a hard time with the texture of a said food or something, but to be like, I can't eat something without ranch is so intense.
I guess I'm like,
because ranch doesn't
feel like
even
I need
have
to,
that
like-
much flavor.
no, it doesn't. I feel like I need to solve it. I feel like I would have to be like, really? You really went out and got ranch? I'm so embarrassed. I would have been so embarrassed.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'd say it's also for me what it often is not necessarily the action, but how you back up that action. And saying like normal
Sounds about
restaurants and like fighting back to the waiter and like when the waiter's like no outside food and then like it's a condiment. I'm like that's almost more the red flag to me than going and getting the ranch. Yeah. Like and it's one of those things that you need to be really upfront if it's like you cannot eat a food without ranch. You need to be like, oh, you want to go out to eat? Do they have ranch? I have this thing where I need to have ranch with every meal. It's got, and it's
Why am I being
Not that
stupid,
this
man?
takes away from it, but it's got to be in their head because again, ranch doesn't have that much flavor. So what is it actually doing? Like it's a fat, it's a milky fat, right? And so it's expanding your taste buds, letting you taste more, so you can palate more. And so like sour cream is gonna do it. It's just like that tangy back, but then that dill sauce. It's just like dill sauce in my head sounds like it's gonna be like a ranch, but instead of like the oregano with those seasoned herbs, it's gonna be dill instead of those. It's not gonna be that much different.
Did she even try it?
She didn't even try it.
That's the
No
thing.
f***ing way she tried it. Would this be this would be a deal breaker for all of us, right?
No.
It wouldn't. See, it's a deal breaker for me because I love food.
I don't know. I don't know.
The ranch on anything I can definitely handle.
The ranch.
They established enough information when they said like
Yeah, I think
didn't
that's
have
what I
any
need
dozens
to
like a
go.
normal
I
restaurant.
need
I'm like,
another
all right, yeah, that's all.
You're out.
That's all I need to hear.
Wait, is it a deal breaker?
Yeah, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker not because I'd be like, you have to have ranch. It'd be that I would say, and I would probably say this. I'd be like, hey, I love food. I love trying new foods. There's another genre of food that I've tried that I haven't been interested by or like, and I like to explore.
I don't know how
And
this
if you can't do that, then we can't.
Oh, that is.
There's so many experiences that we're limited by now. Yeah. Go find someone else who also will just like basic.
You're right. I think it is a deal breaker. You're right on like the first couple dates. But if you are together for a while and they have this thing.
Well, we're not gonna get to that.
You're right. Deal breaker then.
It's a deal breaker for me too because my stomach in my mouth is my way to my heart. Like,
yes.
There is no way that we're not going to try all these different foods. Like, you're not going to be able to travel with me. No, Polish Hungarian is not even that, like, different from, like, what we typically
use a
eat in
projector.
restaurants. Like, dude, you're ordering, I bet you they have schnitzel or, like bratwurst on. Like, and if I ever want to go to, like, fucking, I don't know, like, Thailand, like, we're not getting ranch.
Oh, no.
We're not getting ranch.
You are not getting
You're
ranch.
so limited. So limited. Like, you know, and what are we going to eat the whole time? You're going to bring ranch in your suitcase? That's another good point. You can't travel. Exactly. Yeah. Some comments here. Back in the day, I went out on some bad dates, but expecting an Eastern European-style restaurant to have ranch dressing and nipping out to buy some would go down in the bad date Hall of Fame. Someone else said, yeah, you're the asshole. Did you even enjoy the food without the ranch? This is so gross to me. Why don't you just eat ranch since it seems that it's all you enjoy? Okay. Don't be petty.
Yeah.
Didn't I
At a
make
5-star restaurant, I'll have
swear to God I made it.
attendees. And look, man, I love.
No, I did make
I
it.
was just about to say, at a
I
good
know I
restaurant,
made it. Where the hell
love chicken tendies. But
Where the hell's my
also,
protractor? Projector.
And at the very least, look, at the very least, just communicate this. Communicate this right off the bat. Don't get to a date and then leave your date. Also, don't leave your date alone. Wait to go. She didn't tell him that she was going to the ranch? She maybe did, but I don't even like that anyways. Like,
Yeah.
It's weird. That's bad etiquette.
Let's
Yeah,
look
how
at
the hell do I
stubbornness. To
do
not even
this?
try what they
Craft
have
with an
is not really
engineer's
immersing yourself
manual.
into the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit
I
disrespectful.
have
And
it
it's
like
right
bringing
here.
It's very different if you're like, hey, I'm limited by my allergies. I'm limited by this.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever. This is a very clear choice. But anyways.
Yeah.
Cool. but
Moving
that's not
on.
what I
Wow.
meant.
Yeah.
Fired up.
I'm fired up too.
Okay.
Could have been a legend though. Like bringing a bottle of ranch into a restaurant.
Like Buffalo Wild Wings.
At face value,
We
I
ran
love it.
out. Sorry.
No, Buffalo Wild Wings. You bring. You're like, I have to bring my own hot sauce because your shit doesn't get hot enough.
Oh, that's cool.
That would be.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
I'd be like, I want to party with that person.
Yeah. But the mango habanero is fire.
I can only handle so much. All right, next story. This is on Am I the Asshole? We posted to Am I the Devil? So buckle up. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance that he embarrassed me when he started singing the Happy Birthday song to his 5-year-old son at the restaurant?
Alrighty.
Okay. I, a 30-year-old woman, have been with my fiance, Ned, who's 36, for a year and a half.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's a fake
No.
name.
Oh, okay, great.
Right. All the names in all these stories are always not real. Okay. They've been dating for a year and a half. He has a 5-year-old son with his ex-girlfriend. They don't have a custody arrangement, but he has him most of the week because the mom is currently sick. His son is lovely, but I notice that Ned takes him everywhere he goes, including places that aren't child-friendly. We have issues with that, but we're working on it. His son's 5th birthday was days ago, and Ned took us out to a restaurant.
It is a 3x3 giant space.
Because it was a somewhat expensive place. Anyways, we ordered food, and when we got the birthday cake, which was a surprise to me because I thought we were going to celebrate at home, where we could
it's just the same thing with
I still had no issue with that until Ned started singing the Happy Birthday song to his son. I was so stunned I almost dropped my plate. He was singing it at the top of his lungs, not even looking around or paying attention to how many people were staring at us awkwardly. I felt so embarrassed I kept whispering for him to stop, but he ignored me. Of course, my future stepson was hyped and a little too active, which isn't good when we're in a public place. I expected the staff, the manager, anyone to get involved and stop him, but no one did. In fact, some woman came up to us and offered to help him take a video recording. I wasn't in it at all. I froze in my seat, looking stunned and a little angry. He looked at me later, asking what was wrong. I didn't say anything except, "Thanks for finally noticing." He didn't understand what I meant, and I didn't explain until we were in the car. I flat out told him that he embarrassed me the second he started singing in the restaurant. He was shocked, saying he didn't get why I would be embarrassed by him celebrating his son's birthday and cheering him up. I told him we could have done this at home where we would be more comfortable and free. He took it as me being ashamed of him and his son. But I denied it and said that it just felt awkward and embarrassing to me at the restaurant, and I've never been in this situation. He said that his son's mom is sick, and he's trying to do all he can to cheer him up. That all families do that, and that no one had an issue with it except for me. Then when I tried to explain, he got mad and said he no longer felt like talking. We haven't been speaking since then. It appears he's still salty about me saying what I said, and insisting that I see him and his son as an embarrassment. Am I the asshole? I think he's being too harsh ignoring me, instead of talking it out.
Wow.
This is so much.
She just
Alright,
doesn't.
so now I
There's unspoken
get
rules
it.
of social etiquette, and I feel like the Happy Birthday song is allowed almost anywhere.
Anywhere?
It really
Alright,
does.
now I
Almost
get it. Now I
anywhere,
get it.
anytime.
The son's mother is sick. With I don't know what.
Besides that, I have never.
She is sick.
I have never heard someone sing Happy Birthday and been like, how dare they?
Yeah.
What are they think they are doing?
And here's the thing. I feel like everyone universally kind of dreads the Happy Birthday song, but I also agree with what you're saying. It's also like,
It is?
And it's a 5-year-old's birthday.
You gotta do it.
Like, he's a cute little kid at probably a really nice restaurant. Everyone's like, oh, I have baby fever now.
I love how she's like, no one said anything. Like, in fact, a lady came up and offered to take a video. It's like, yeah, because they clearly didn't have a problem with it.
It sounds like a sketch where she's probably like,
She's like, happy birthday.
and it sounds like, yay, because mommy's sick.
And everyone around is like singing too. And she's like, they're joining in because they're embarrassed. I'm thinking of like the internal monologue where it's like everything goes dark behind her. She's like, no, not again. This can't be.
She sounds extremely controlling because it's like the fact where she's like, why didn't you do it at home where we can be free? It's like, you mean where you can be free?
And maybe this is how she's grown up. Like,
Sure.
They were just like, we never sing in public, or we never like sing the Happy Birthday. Like, we do it. We wait till we get home, and that's where.
And you have to acknowledge that that's you.
Sure. Yeah.
Your upbringing.
You're projecting
and that's
it on
fine.
other people.
I would get it if she's like, don't sing Happy Birthday to me in a public place.
Yeah.
That's all. That I would
Totally
understand a little bit
respectable.
more if she's like, hey, I was embarrassed. Like, I don't like to be put on the spot at that restaurant. It's him and his son.
If it's the
Let him
assembler,
raise his son the way he wants.
Alright, cool.
And
So that
celebrate his son's birthday
is
the
how
way
you
he
use
wants.
this. Alright, cool.
I also think it's more than that. It sounds to me like she did not realize that she signed up for the son to be in her life all the time. Did you hear it? She was like, and he brings the sun around everywhere we go.
Yeah, because son 5 years
Also,
old.
you've only been together a year and a half and you're already fiancé.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
No judgment, but like that's not a lot of time to really like
Establish a connection with him
and
the son. And it seems like she hasn't. No. Based on this, only on this, it
So
doesn't
369.
appear.
Well, there's probably only been one birthday before this. And in fact, if it's a year and a half, there's only been one birthday before.
and he was probably at the house singing quietly.
Yeah, and also just for the record, it takes about 10 seconds to sing the birthday song.
So quick.
Correct.
It is very quick. And let's go back to, this is not a
Do I
restaurant
need
fit for
10?
child because it's expensive. Excuse you?
I know.
You're right, children don't deserve expensive food.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they absolutely do.
I mean,
I would say it's totally,
sometimes
it's totally fine. Some children don't. You know, it's completely fine. I will say 5-year-old.
Man, I really need to get this goddamn assembly. But for me to do that, I need to...
Taking chili. Taking the chili.
never stop going to Chili's.
Alright.
So good.
It's so
I
good.
think I'm just gonna
Chili
bite the
is
bullet
order.
and keep going down this
Chocolate
and
muffin
try to
always
finish
That's it.
one of these things.
You're a chicken crispy.
Fajitas.
You did a fajitas?
I love.
That's crazy.
You're out of your mind.
And
Comments
I
here.
think the
It's
next
not
thing I'm
embarrassing
gonna
to
do
sing
is
happy
get a
birthday to a child.
work
It is,
for
however, super embarrassing to look pissed off at a person singing happy birthday to a child at the same table as you. You're the asshole. Someone else said, you're the asshole. If it had actually been an issue, the staff would have intervened. They didn't. Given that the only actual response you got from anyone was unequivocally supportive, I think you're wildly projecting your own embarrassment at having attention called to you in public. And you need to acknowledge that as your problem instead of taking it out on your partner.
Whoa, this person was like, I'm gonna respond!
You're the asshole. I understand your concern. Strangers might think you cared about your stepson with a public act like that. Oh shit, man.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, the fact that she was trying to whisper to him while he's singing it.
I know.
Crazy.
Unwritten rule. You're allowed to do happy birthday. Everyone's allowed to get involved.
Yeah.
silver and
It's just what it is.
It
And the
really
fact
does
that
get
it
back.
didn't, she was still, she wasn't disillusioned when
How do I
the
get
woman
ghost on?
came over and was like, I'll take a video of you. Like, it's clearly okay that they were doing that from an outside party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still was like, this is wrong.
I almost dropped my plate.
Yeah.
But why are you holding your plate
Why
up?
was your plate
This
in
is
your
my
hand?
Do I know
You're
how
the
to
weird
get
one.
that?
She's like this. I almost dropped my plate.
Yeah, ridiculous. Next story here. Another one that was reposted on Am I the Devil. Let's see if this person's worse than the...
I'm getting that cute.
Am I the asshole for inviting
To
my
get
waitress
glowstone
out?
dust, I need to get glowstone, but I don't know how to get glowstone.
And you know what?
Unless I
have
like
gone on dates
go fight witches
from
all
the
day,
restaurants. Yep.
Someone
or
followed me.
whatever this is.
Oh.
And I know I can't get this.
Well, we went out for like 4 months. It was really fun, actually. I
Okay.
thought he was cute.
Yeah, but that's not...
You're right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I've had a couple times where I left them my number and they left me their number at the same time. Isn't that cute?
How the
Synced up.
Synced up.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry. We have a lot of stories.
Alright. This is a 46-year-old man.
There has to be a way to
my
get
wife,
to the
who's
nether
43, passed
from
away
here,
about 2
right?
years ago. Since then, I
It
haven't had the
seems
courage or the
reasonable.
desire to try and date. My kids are all in college, so I try to go out for dinner by myself once a week to get out of the house. When I got to the restaurant, I glanced at the menu. When my waitress showed up, I was immediately struck by how much she looked like my past wife. I ordered my food, and I worked up the nerve when she came back to give it to me to ask her out to dinner. She laughed and said she would think about it and left. I felt good about asking until I was done eating and a different waiter came by to take payment. I asked him what happened to the previous waitress, and he told me that she didn't feel comfortable serving me anymore and asked him to clear her table for her. I felt so embarrassed after putting myself out there and getting rejected like that. I thought it would have been okay and it would have been better just to have heard a simple no from her. Was I the asshole for asking her out? Here's what it is. She's perfect. Yeah.
It's true.
employed.
Yeah,
She
she
is on the
I
clock.
need 4 years.
Working.
It is her job to be friendly,
And
Yep.
which I
joyful.
need
She is working.
to
However,
do.
I do think that it's hard. It's hard with different.
I would say, based on the context you gave us, there was no sign other than just like, you look like my passed away wife. I would say for me, baseline, yeah, if someone's working, you're an asshole.
This is
for doing
solid.
it,
This is
even if
not.
it's while they're working. And at the very least, you can't be upset by however you're
Nope. That's
like,
not your right. That's not your right.
If a different waiter, if I did this and I said, hey, I'm gonna ask this person out, which what I mean is I would need to know. I would need more than just like, I'm getting a vibe. I need to be like, hey, we're having a full-on conversation.
You want to know his other faux pas?
What?
He didn't wait till the end of the
I
meal.
was just gonna say that.
Oh.
You cannot ask out a waitress while you're serving your table currently. It is awkward. It is weird. It changes the dynamic.
Yep.
If you want to ask them out, leave them your number on a thing. I don't think that that's wrong.
No, not at all.
I think leaving the number.
And even at the end of the meal, we are done. Our transaction is finished. We are paid. I've signed.
Also, yes, you have to wait till the end of the thing. But
Yes.
yes, we are working.
He asked her out before they were done. Now she's like, okay, how am I gonna get a tip if I reject him? This sucks. This is now such a loaded situation. That's so uncomfortable for her. I do not think he was thinking.
That's
And
why
this
she
is-
said maybe. That's
This
why
is
she
also
said
why it
maybe.
sucks too, because I know for myself as a server, I'm a flirt. I'm gonna flirt, and I'm gonna be pretty too to get that tip. And a lot of people are like, oh, he's flirting with you. Yeah, I'm flirting with you. It's kind of my whole thing. Like that's how I'm gonna get.
You're working.
I'm working.
I think leaving the number is the only version of it that I'm like, okay, fine. You leave a number, and you're saying it's like, hey, pressure's off. If I don't receive a call from you, fine.
Pressure is
And-
off.
But I think that's the only version of it where I'm not like, hey, you're being a little bit careful. But where you're absolutely an asshole, and this is across the circumstances, is, and I mean asshole not in like you're a bad person. I just mean like you might
Out of pocket.
if you ask someone out while they're working, you might make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that might make you an asshole. I'm not saying like you, but it's hey, you have to really be certain.
Yeah.
And where you're absolutely an asshole no matter what is if someone rejects you however they do, and you push back even the slightest bit, you're 100% asshole.
I think I agree with that. I do think it gets complicated because I do think in like rom-coms, TV shows, like all these things, it's always like, the waitress or the server and like that's how you meet. I don't think it's right to ask out someone while they're working, but I think it gets really complicated.
I have a question. What if the roles were flipped?
What if
What
it
if
was a
the-
girl
What
asking
if the server is asking the customer out at the end of the meal?
I think we were talking about like the woman and the man, and like straight up, I think the issue that so many straight dudes are so dangerous out there that
That's so
they're the ones who f***ed it up.
Yeah.
Like we can
It's
only be
so
mad at them.
true.
We can only be mad at them. I mean, we just had a story earlier of someone stalking someone. Like
They make it scary.
that's the problem.
They make it
Yeah.
scary where
That's the issue.
sometimes I feel like I want to believe that it's not all scary because I don't want to live my life being scared all the time. So
No.
it's like I'm going to be more open to this. But that's just my personal experience. So that's why I think it gets really tricky.
15. That's the thing you have to acknowledge as a man in any situation where you're like, oh, I think this woman's really cute. I want to ask her out, but you have to be like, she doesn't know me. So there is, based on statistics, a high chance that I'm a dangerous person.
Yeah.
And I mean her hard.
Yeah.
Right? Have to consider that. And you know, oh, my intentions are good though. Yeah, you know that. She doesn't. And that's the.
And she has reason to believe the exact opposite.
That's
And
why.
that's why
What if I
feel
make
like you're an
this the
asshole
giant
based on these things? Like you're now maybe making
storage room?
this person's day harder. Yeah.
I agree. And just write your number down later and then leave.
Yes.
That's the thing. Don't sit there and wait. Like
If they want to text you, they will text you.
I can't stand when there's dudes who are creepy as F,
were just like saying, "Oh,
I can't do
you look like
anything
my
about
dead
that, can I?
ex-wife.
Yeah.
Oh my god!" It's like, okay, cool.
100%.
Hey, Chance, can you take over my entire section?
Absolutely.
Now I can't be in
The
that
thing I've heard, and we'll get into these comments, is
So I
the thing I've
cannot
heard, and I
move
feel like
these
the
up.
best
Oh,
thing
I
you can
see.
do whenever asking someone out is how do you make them
Unless I
feel
have
like
like a
as
wrench
safe
or
as possible and
something.
that they can walk away from this and get away from this super easily. And that's the best.
Write your number down.
Write your number down and be gone.
Be gone.
So comments here. You're the asshole. Do not proposition women who cannot leave if they choose. This means any woman who is in a workplace in which you are the customer. It means any place where a woman cannot physically step away from you if they choose. Someone said, very, very soft, you're the asshole. You shouldn't be discouraged from getting out and opening your heart to potential partners. But I can see how the situation may have been awkward for the waitress. I'm sorry for your loss, OP. Someone said, you're the asshole. If you want to ask a waitress out, leave your number on the receipt. Way less awkward and puts her in control without having to feel pressured by your presence. If she's interested, cool. If not, Big Jerry working the grill will probably text you and with you. And I agree with those. And that's what I mean. It's like and especially this guy. I'm like, you didn't have bad intentions. You just went about this bad.
But also, did he really like her? Or did he just look like that?
That's also a little weird thing.
That's
It's like
also
if you
some
started
psychic
dating,
damage right there.
if you started dating, if it did work out, you started dating. It's like, yeah, here's a picture of my ex-wife that you look just like. It's
Put
not.
on this dress.
This might have been the best case scenario. I think this was best case scenario for that guy. How many times do you think you got asked out while you were working?
A lot. That's how Tim Robbins asked me out.
Yeah?
But he literally, he was leaving.
Yeah.
And his son was leaving too.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they literally wrote their number down on a receipt and left.
Yeah.
And it was a private party and I didn't feel like it was creepy or anything, but I feel like I got asked out a lot, but the thing is like, I don't know, it was when I first moved here and I was single at the time and I don't know. It wasn't, I don't know. When you work in the restaurant industry for a really long time, you are so used to the creeps and not the creeps. And you can distinguish them in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You see them and you're like, creep, not creep.
100%.
And so I was very like open to, if I didn't feel creepy vibes and they left their number, cool.
Yeah.
There were many times that I got asked out that was creepy and weird and I had to give up my section. Many times. It just became part of the job. I know that sounds f***ing crazy.
No,
it became part of what I had to set myself up for.
And it sucks that it's a reality. It's unfair. It's stupid.
Man, I need to be.
It's shitty.
Man, I need to research
But you have to adapt because
what the fuck to do.
growing up in Boston, I cannot. I don't want to be afraid every day. I don't want to be angry every day. Every time I get beat up,
I don't want to be pissed. Years.
So Amanda, needed to adapt.
Yeah.
And so I just added
I think
it
I
into
just
my
have
schedule.
to do it.
I know that sounds crazy, but I added it into my schedule. I'm like, all right, which f***er am I going to deal with today?
Right.
And which person is going to ask me out that maybe for me, I had to adapt because I want to be happy and I don't want other people who are f***ing creeps to distinguish my day, to change my whole day.
You learn also with the creep, not just with creeps, but just like assholes in general. You learn to compartmentalize. You're like, you can't let this table affect the rest of the night.
I'm having a good day and I look good today.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you I saw a person slap my ass while they went to the bathroom. Yes, has it hurt my day? But I'm like, I can't keep letting that shit hurt my day.
What's so weird is that nowhere else, I've worked in restaurants for my whole life in Tennessee and Chicago and LA and different places in LA and different places too.
Yeah.
And nowhere, never got hit on or like asked out anywhere besides when I moved here. I guess there's more gay people here also.
Yeah.
But like it changed everything and then all of a sudden like you're giving your ass hands while you walk by and all that stuff and I'm like, what the you get hit on like you want to get hit on and you're like, okay, roll down.
Yes, kind of like you're like, oh.
Yeah. And so it really confuses other people too, because what's happening is your section's really close together, and this table it's this really hot guy that you
This
are
one is just a
flirting with, and that you're doing stuff, and like you're
like, hello.
You're like, okay, so what can I get? You guys want dessert?
The guy's
want
like,
dessert? And then the table next to you is the creeps that hear this, and they're like, we want creep.
Wait.
I'm like, no, it's not for you. It's for them.
Wait. How the hell do I take these
That
down?
is a perfect description of
Compartmentalizing.
compartmentalizing is your section. It's literally like creep, cool, fun people,
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Creep,
That's good.
cool, fun people, hot.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
so
just like,
good. Oh, damn.
What the hell?
yeah.
How do I break these?
Sorry.
Yeah.
This
Do I need a
episode is
wrench?
brought to you by NordVPN. As you probably know,
Yeah, I've heard
Days.
of Nord.
am I the asshole for bringing my sister-in-law's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? Alright. This might be our legend.
What?
Oh,
Where the hell's my
this
goddamn
wallet?
wrench?
Your Honor, my sister-in-law.
Here.
Top hat. Okay, this 28-year-old woman, her sister-in-law Amy, who's 26, always comes to visit from out of town. She stays
Please
with
tell me
us
I can
instead of a
take these
hotel
down.
and always wants to go to expensive restaurants. She
Oh
always
my
conveniently
God,
forgets
how do
her
I
wallet or comes
break
up with some
these?
excuse as to why she can't pay her share. She's implied that since I make much more money than her, I should be the one to pay. No, not that my husband should pay, but me specifically. I do make a fair amount of money, but not so much that I can treat someone every time they come into town. Nonetheless, in the past, I have just paid the bill and asked her to pay me back. She never has. She made a reservation at an extremely expensive restaurant last night, and before we left, I made it clear that I wouldn't be paying her bill. This is where I might be the asshole, and I'll admit I got this move straight from an episode of 2.5 Men.
Awesome.
Oh my
I
God.
love it. You don't like it? I love it.
As we were leaving, my husband and her went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right on top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse and we went to the restaurant. When we were done eating, I asked for separate bills. She said no, we need one bill because she forgot her wallet again. I reached my purse and said,
Yeah, this
this
one.
wallet? She was extremely furious. She said that I
This
should not
one.
have touched or grabbed her wallet. So am I the asshole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant? Wait! Edit. Oh. Amy just called me. She saw this post and she yelled at me for bad-mouthing her on the internet. Honestly, I don't care. Amy, hopefully reading all these comments is a wake-up call for you.
Fucking Ivor.
You made it real awkward. Mad awkward.
Made it real awkward.
I feel
Said-
bad for her
Said
husband.
the price of this relationship is right here.
Yeah.
Her husband's just like, can you guys just get along?
Oh, there we go.
Not the asshole, but I would have probably done it differently because I would have been like, hey, I would have had a conversation.
I would have been like, before we left, when we were getting in the car,
Is
you
it
know,
Yeah.
be like, you have everything? Keys, phone, wallet?
Wallet? Oh, wait, you don't know? Oh, you forgot your wallet? Here, let's go.
Probably
get
would have
in
been
the
like,
car.
yeah. Well, she probably would have been like, yeah. Like, because you always forget your wallet.
Yeah. Okay,
Got
you
it?
can Venmo me. I'll Venmo request.
That's also a thing, too.
But bringing the wallet, she must have just been.
I just also would be like, we're not going to an expensive restaurant.
She said, how many times did she say that it's happened? She said it's happened so many
So many times, and that the sister-in-law made the reservation at the expensive restaurant. I'd be like, no, we're not going.
Yeah, I don't
We're done
think
with
he's
this.
the asshole.
Oh, why? I said, wait. Who paid for it? What happened?
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like, based on the comments here, that the sister-in-law still didn't pay 'cause she was mad. This is one of those situations where I'm like, why do you keep letting this person do this?
Also, the husband needs to get involved. That's his sister.
Oh, it's his sister.
It's his
You're right.
sister.
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
Like, get involved. You know?
Yeah, not the husband paying, me specifically paying.
Also, they should have come to it together. Maybe the husband and the wife should have been like, she probably just, but maybe if they both were like, here's your wallet, we found it, we brought it for you, like if they were going to do that. I do think bringing the wallet is kind of like,
Look, she fought fire with fire there, but it's also weird that the sister-in-law is making her pay. She said she's not asking
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's some weird shit. This is a weird person. Based on the story, I don't like them.
This sounds like a bigger issue with the husband and his sister. And
Yeah.
I feel like the sister-in-law, the
I
husband
think I need
set
to just...
some boundaries there.
I need to
because the
focus on
sister-
storage.
the
That's
wife
what I
did
need
not-
to do.
She should not be in charge.
Yeah,
of
I
taking care
gotta
of the
focus on
sister-in-law
storage.
like that.
After fucking around
this
for
line
about,
is the
I think about
wrong
hours by
line.
now.
That is the wrong
I've been
is the
fucking
right
around for
line?
4
The
hours,
right line is...
not doing
Oh my
anything.
god, I actually
And
grabbed
I
it
need
for
to
you.
focus on storage, because that's what I need to
I
do.
saw it on your suitcase.
Let's just
Oh, yeah.
focus on
It was
storage.
just sitting out on your suitcase in the car, and I didn't want it to
Because
get stolen.
I
Here
gotta
it
focus
is.
on storage.
Or you could have, before you get to the restaurant, been like, hey, I need to go do this. Hey, I saw your wallet still on your suitcase.
I'm gonna go grab it really quick.
I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah, you'll go grab it. We'll go together. Let's hold hands and go there.
Comments here. Not the asshole, definitely not an asshole, but you might be a legend. Not the asshole if she'd actually forgotten her wallet, she would have been grateful you remembered. Of course we all know she never forgot it. You're already saving her hotel costs by allowing her to stay in your home. The least she should be doing is
Yeah, this is
use her
already
meal
putting me
out,
down to
to
one
thank you
anyway, so I
for
need to do
hosting.
this.
I'm the asshole, and I love it. Not how I operate. People come.
Same. Honestly, same.
I have luckily never. Well, we've had a lot of stories like this of people kind of like making other people pay the bill. I've never dealt with it. I guess I've never gone to dinner with two big of assholes because I feel like splitting the bill has never been an argument. No, whenever I've gone out.
No, never.
Especially with Venmo now, like and stuff like that. It's so easy.
Well, I think if you go with people who've been in the service industry, you don't make it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, we are not splitting this 70.
I don't know. I'm a giver, and I will. Most of the time, if people are visiting me, I'm gonna pay the bill
Can't
before
do
you
that.
even see them.
Correct.
The waiter already has the card, and that's my expectation. I don't expect you to pay, and when I'm visiting, I don't expect you to pay for me.
And if your mother is visiting, I am taking care.
Oh,
My husband and I are taking care of the bill,
absolutely.
even if she gets pissed.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset whenever I go like out to dinner with people that I'm like I need to prepare to be responsible for myself. Like no matter what. Yeah. And I just need to be in that mindset and I can be pleasantly surprised. Like, hey, I got this. Yeah. But do not go with that expectation. That is how you're gonna ruin friendships. You will ruin relationships with that mindset.
And you're gonna be so much happier if you're prepared to do the whole bill. And I'm not I'm not like rolling in dough. And sometimes it'll like put me out maybe. I don't know how many people are
Do I not
just
have
be prepared. That worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to cover the bill. Or because I do not want to be in a situation where we can't cover the bill.
Where it's like, I only got a nice tea.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that.
I get it too. But I'm just ready to do it just in case. That saves so many relationships. If you have that mindset, you can then communicate beforehand.
God, am I this stupid? Like,
And then it's
honestly?
like, hey, we'll figure it out. Boom. Then it's like you communicate.
God, I need
But
to
it's
focus
waiting
on
till the
this shit,
bill
man.
to then go, well, I was expecting you to get it.
She's clearly very manipulative, and she clearly feels she's using her brother
now I get it.
and
It's a
sister-in-law
garbage.
as like mommy daddy right now. Like she's put them in that role,
Yeah.
and it's
I need a
that,
congressman
honestly,
general.
it's up to the brother to set
Terribly
up freaking
bad.
boundaries.
Communication.
But if he can't, then it's up to, unfortunately, the wife to set a boundary. Like, I'm so sorry you can't stay with us right now.
Yeah.
You have to get a hotel room.
To go back on what I just said, she said she is not paying for the meal before the meal started.
She established it.
She established that. She was like, you still want to go. You made this reservation, and I am not paying for it.
This is
Oh,
full on.
so,
Alright, next story.
okay. I am hot.
I'm not sure.
Am I the asshole for leaving itemized tips to compensate for my wife's behavior? What? Okay. My wife and I, in our 30s, dine out every once in a while, but not too often because of my wife's annoying habit inherited from her family. She always complains, sends food back if it's not absolutely perfect, and makes needless requests / substitutions. She doesn't have allergies or sensitivities. It can easily take 5 minutes for her just to order her food. And sometimes I've already finished her meal by the time she gets her food because she sends it back, asks for modifications, etc. I know restaurant staff don't appreciate it. I've tried talking to her about this, but she doesn't see an issue with it. Anyway, we make decent money and we use our combined funds on dates / dinners. I recently started writing what my wife does
that's gonna be
and
fucking
calculating
hard
a tip, in addition to the normal gratuity, to compensate. So to repeat, I might add, complained about not having blank beverage, plus $5. Asked 5 questions $5. Asked for a new drink because too much ice, plus $5. Sent meal back with exactly what she ordered, plus $5. She didn't notice me doing it the first 2 to 3 times, but last night she noticed I was spending a lot of time on writing a tip amount and asked why. I showed her what I wrote. She's been mad at me since, saying I'm embarrassing her to the staff. I told her she's embarrassing us both. Am I the asshole? Petty, maybe, but an asshole? Edit. My wife is otherwise a very nice, caring, and generous person. She does always say please and thank you, even for her most absurd requests. Annoying each other like this is our love language, but this time she's pretty oops. It's tough because he's mad. You know who else is mad? All the servers you're f***ing with. They have a system. Come in there and run shop. It's a little bit of like, please and thank you doesn't excuse.
Too much ice, please. You?
Well, it's also, I would be mad too, because I would be embarrassed. Because I would see in written form, oh, this is what I'm doing. I'm upset, but not at you. I'm upset at myself, because now I have written text of what I've done.
You're a healthy person.
I wonder though, we don't have
I don't
context
think
though.
that's what she's thinking.
No, I think that is what she's thinking, but I don't think she's really thought about what she's thinking.
Well, we don't have.
I don't think she can. Do you know what I mean? Like she's thinking it and she's acting out, but she's not like looking inwardly and being like, why am I actually mad? What's actually making me mad right now?
What we don't have context on is whether or not he has tried to communicate with her about this.
That's what I was wondering. Is if he
said he had.
Has he?
Yeah, he said he did.
You're right. Sorry, I take that back. So he established, I've tried talking to her about this, but he doesn't see an issue with it. So he has tried. And
now he's just like, tip.
Yeah, like, I'll pay for it.
Did he just show her the things that he wrote down? How did that happen?
Yeah, she goes, what?
Stop, because he's taking a really long time. She's like, why are you taking so long to do tip? Right?
And I showed her what I wrote. Saying she's been mad at me since, saying I'm embarrassing her to the staff. I told her she's embarrassing us both. Yeah, she said, you're embarrassing me to the staff. It's like, no, you already did that.
It's already been done.
I don't think
Uncompensated
I don't
for what's
think
already
it's the asshole because they're married, they have their own love language, they have their own back and forth. And to be honest, if he's already tried to communicate it with her, and this is like another way that he's trying to enjoy going out to dinner, well, whatever. What?
Okay.
What's happening?
Ridiculous.
I just thought about something.
What?
He should have just put the extra tip in. He shouldn't be writing it. The right.
No, I think that is pretty a little bit.
Yeah, he's right.
It is a little.
And it's kind of an inside joke between him and the staff. It is, and it's an inside joke. If he's not showing her every time, it's like it's an inside joke between me and the staff showing I'm seeing she's the problem.
Yeah, he said annoying each other like this is our love language, but he wasn't showing her. This was a secret to her.
Oh, right.
Him and the staff.
Then it is.
It's like I'm the cool one. I promise. I'm paying for the check.
That's like I'm so sorry about my fish.
Yeah,
why?
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I mean, I'm not a marriage counselor or an expert in any sort of sense, but stuff like this, I'm like, you're telling me this isn't going to turn into resentment at some point in your marriage?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I mean, but also, I think she needs to acknowledge, like, whether she is fine with doing it or not, she needs to acknowledge, like, it is embarrassing. Like, you are making the staff stay harder.
And you are not in control. You going to a restaurant,
you are not in control.
Yeah. Someone else is in the kitchen cooking your meal.
Let the
restaurant
take over.
Someone else is doing your dishes.
That's the thing. Let the restaurant take over.
Yes.
Let them serve you how they curated the menu.
It is purposeful. There's been a lot of stuff. They have been so much thought.
Enjoy the experience.
Because I'm going to run out of fucking aluminum eventually.
I'm so sorry, but I need to take a break from going out to dinner because I'm not enjoying myself.
And she doesn't have allergies or sensitivities. We'll establish that. Like, this is just for preferences. Look, maybe I'm the asshole for this, but if I was at a restaurant and someone sent a drink back that had too much ice, I think I'd probably look them in the face and go, fuck, go for yourself. There is no explanation for this other than this is something she does
That's what it
And
sounds.
something she does specifically
At restaurants.
This is not a behavior
Which
that
it could be catered to restaurants, I guess.
it was a normalized thing for her growing up, but it's again, if she wanted to say, hey, I'm gonna do this is how I am, this is how I eat, but she needs to also acknowledge, yeah, I am making this day harder. I can't deny that.
Not only the waiter,
but not only the waiter.
Everybody.
There's cooks,
The
there's
whole
food
system.
runners, there's expos, there's now this ticket that this menu, this item that has gone out thousands of times
Everything.
has all of these modifications on it. So now this guy is standing with his ticket who didn't bring it in, who a server bring it in. Expo is gonna have to read this to the cooks. A lot of times they speak different languages and like there's little modifications that they don't understand. Like it doesn't translate well. So now I have to explain how to do this dish that they've done 1,000 times that makes sense to them while they have 26
And it
other
fucks
tickets.
every other table because this food's getting cold, this food's getting cold,
Yep.
this guy's getting pissed, now this server's having a bad day, now he's going to be have an attitude towards the other tables, cocktails are sitting and waiting, everything is like a web.
Yeah.
I think it's like,
Oh,
I get frustrated.
I just got so
I'm so pissed.
Because I know there's people that go, well, I need food a certain way and I have my preferences, but I'm like,
Don't go out to a restaurant.
but I think when you're at a
There are
restaurant,
also places.
I think when you're at a restaurant, you kind of have to let go a little bit of the I. Like you are at a place where you are affecting a lot of people's day and week.
You have to let go of 80% of your control at a restaurant. Do not go out to a restaurant if you're not down for the experience. I'm sorry.
There are places that you can go,
Sure.
and there are also places that like you serve, like not serve yourself, but there are places you can cater your own whatever you need. And there are restaurants that, and there are certain modifications that are like we can do this.
So open to it.
We can do these
So
things.
go to those restaurants.
We have a lot of options available to you.
Yeah.
Gluten free, vegan. You don't want food touching. We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
But like when you start getting into it, if you're in a restaurant, it's like we can't do this, or like it's not an option that is on the menu for you.
Right.
It doesn't work.
I
Doesn't
agree.
work. Okay.
You did.
It's just throws out it makes everyone's life so
Comments here. Not the asshole. That must be mortifying. Let's have your wife work as a waitress in one of the restaurants you both frequent. Let's see how fast her behavior changes. Someone else said, not the asshole. Please continue doing this until she isn't a nightmare to wait staff. Saying please and thank you doesn't mean jack shit if you're making problems that aren't there in order to feel satisfied, or whatever her motivation is for being this way. A new comment. Everyone sucks here. Your wife sucks, but you do too because you treat it like throwing money at the problem will make it okay. At restaurants, you pay money for food, drinks, and service. Insulting and degrading the staff is not on the menu. How would you feel if I slapped you in the face and then gave you $5 and said it wasn't that bad because I was nice about it? Money does not entitle you to hurt others.
But money's great. Thank you so much.
Wait, I also have to say, I'm going back to the modifications again. A lot of the times, people don't realize that the food has already been prepped hours before. It is slated to serve 1,000 people that night. Like we have this dill sauce that we have already made. We cannot take out the dill. It is in the sauce.
I know.
I'm allergic to this. Can you take this off? No, it's already the onions are already balsamic. They are already roasted in balsamic dressing. They are in a vat that we can heat up. They just got made hours before. We can't make another vat just for you.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
I agree.
Have you guys ever left extra tips based on like, have you ever been out to dinner with someone who's really embarrassing? And
Dude,
you
if it's
left,
just
like,
receiving, why does it take like forever?
Really?
Sometimes
No, I'm saying, like, have you ever been in a situation like this where you're out to dinner and someone you were dining with was kind of shitty to the wait staff, so you're like, I'm gonna add.
I'm like, if that ever happened,
If that happened, of course, but
yeah, I have.
It's
With big part, with like a big group.
It's happened.
I'm sorry that we were so rambunctious.
It's happened to me with a new friend. I remember it was very small. We were getting like coffee and something, and she was being so specific about her latte, and she like got it redone twice. And I, in front of her, was like, "I'm so sorry," and she let me have it. She was like, "How dare you make me feel bad? Like make me feel embarrassed." So that was
That's
years
hard.
ago, and I was like, whoa. I had
never apologize when someone you have not
And I did, and that was a big lesson for me. So it's tricky with the tip thing. I think it's weird and I'm with my friends and we've been loud, we've been asking for lessons. Yeah,
God!
Yeah, and
Give me the damn thing.
I know people with food sensitivities or situations where they would maybe do something like this, but I totally understand. And the way they go about it is so respectful and different. But I'm typically very wary and cautious of controlling people, and controlling people typically give that kind of response. So if I'm around someone who exhibits that kind of behavior, I usually just try to remove myself and remove myself as far away from that type of thing.
I now will try to do that because I've definitely been burned.
Because they eventually they go from controlling stuff around them to
Yes.
it typically happens.
My husband is
I don't know why I would
serve
do this.
bartender, bar manager.
Well, if I do,
in our relationship,
then I could use this to
he is watching the bar,
double out my
watching
input with a specific machine, I think.
Oh, what's that?
But I need a flux
or whatever. And I used to get so frustrated about it because I used to not be calm. But now I'm like, this is something he enjoys. This is something he loves. When I go see a show, like a comedy show, you best believe I'm
there's sand
all that
I
shit.
can do.
So I'm like,
I could turn
because
the gravel,
I love
which I
him
also
and now
can do.
understand the root of it,
Squeezer,
I get it,
do
but
that.
I will say still as a server, sometimes I can't turn it off.
No,
I stack all the plates at the end, and
Yeah, I need to get a magma
all the plates are like, wow, thank you. I'm like,
but here's the thing with servers, when we come
Which
into
I
the restaurant,
already did,
and me and my
but
mom,
here I am,
famously
not
server,
figuring that out.
when we go to a restaurant, we are your best friend, your greatest ally, or your worst nightmare, because we are so unforgiving to maybe not bad service. We can see your section, we see what's going on, we see the kitchen most of the time, we know what's going on, so we know if you're just doing a bad job. And then we're like, damn, we're
I don't drop that ever, because
machine?
when I used to serve, people that go, we're servers too, and I'm like,
And if you said that, I'd
sometimes.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm like.
You're like, I know you're.
I didn't get any lower.
It's so dirty. Dirty section. Dirty section.
Sections are the
39.
worst. So yeah, take us out to dinner. I'm great
Most of the time, I'm like, I'm gonna banter with you like I'm gonna be a great table. I'm gonna be really easy.
Okay.
Alright, there are modifications. I'll ask and I'll be like, I really don't like truffle oil. Is there any way that truffle oil cannot be on it? They're like, no, it's okay. They're like, yeah, it's an easy fix. Great.
Love it.
Alright, here's
There
the
you go.
Alright,
That's better.
at our labs, we shared our perspectives. Since my wife frequents the subreddit, I went ahead and showed her this post. With that said, I'd like to address a few things. First, she and I both know that any posts on this subreddit pulls into people's lives and characters, not display cases. Yes, my wife's behavior was that kind of bad, which is why I tried to think of a way to point it out and make up for it. That said, she's not a bad person. Learn to separate the two and you'll get far in the game. Okay, dude. She made it.
Learn to separate the two and you'll get far in life. She's like, and you'll get far in life.
Yeah. Secondly, when I say she was or is mad at me, I don't mean that she is deeply hurt and distraught. She's calling me an asshole, yes, but that's normal for us. If this was something that was actually hurtful to her, I wouldn't be sharing it online. Anyway, she would like for you all to know that she is taking your responses to heart, and she's going to be more mindful of how she dines. She would like to add that she didn't think it was a big deal before because, as she puts it, she doesn't think twice about meeting expectations in her line of work, even if they are probably beyond the norm. She's just happy to meet the man, but she recognizes that not everyone feels that way. She's going to try to be a better cousin. She said reading this was brutally eye-opening, but we both also found some laughter and had a good discussion. Okay, that comment actually just solidified it.
It solidified that she is the asshole.
He is being tied up right now, and she's like,
at gunpoint.
tell them I'm reading
Why wife said, you know, she likes to meet a demand, and
She literally said, or he said that, I'm sorry that some people just don't want to meet expectations. That's what she said. Like, they can't, I'm sorry that you can't meet my expectations.
because there were explanations that could have been given where she's like, I'm so sorry, you know, like, I'm very specific about things, and I know, and all this stuff, but no, she said this, and it solidified where she's coming from.
This was an Am I the Devil, right?
No.
Also, she didn't say anything. He wrote it for her, which is so bizarre.
Well, she might not have a post, or might not have a...
I don't have a computer. I don't have a computer.
All right, here's your MacBook. Yeah, could I get more RAM on this? It's like, this isn't the RAM. I want the RAM I wanted. All right, here's our last story.
That's crazy.
This comes from a great subreddit, Tales from Your Server.
Ooh, love.
We'll get it. The phone. I know we all have had those phone calls. The ones from customers after they get takeout and something was messed up. They can range from the upset woman who got the chicken when it was supposed to be stayed and wants it calm the next time she comes in, to the raging man who found one onion in his taco and is willing to drive to the store to scream at the manager and wants everyone fired. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you deal with these phone calls. The procedure for my store with getting one of these phone calls is to get a manager immediately, but I feel like I can deal with these customers better than my managers. And my managers all know this, so I am allowed to take these calls. It was a busy Thursday evening because we have a burrito special, so the store was slammed. We also have Uber Eats, which means we have Uber drivers coming in and out getting takeout orders. On Uber Eats, the customer can sometimes write comments to specify certain things that they want done for their order. After we slowed down a little bit, we got an Uber order, and in the comments the man said, "Could you please add napkins and draw a smiley face on something to make me a little happy tonight?" Of course, after I showed all the servers, we all freaked out and decided we would write him so many notes just to brighten up his evening. We ended up making over 50 notes, including jokes, drawings, and little stories, and added an extra side of queso. It felt really nice to be able to do something for someone. So, as I was getting ready to clock out, one of the other servers comes and gets me and says there's a man on the phone who wants to speak to a manager about something, but they're all so busy, so can you take this? Of course I'm like, oh geez, I do not want to be dealing with this right before I leave, but I reluctantly agree and ask him how I can help. He proceeded to tell me that he was the one who placed the Uber order, and after receiving all the notes, he just wanted to call and say thank you. He started to cry on the phone, and I didn't know what to say, so I just told him that we loved serving him and we hope to continue to do so. He told me that he wishes he was able to come into the restaurant but hadn't been able to leave his house in years. His little splurge every week was ordering takeout from the store. I started to tear up and asked him to hold on for a minute. I got all the servers and put them on speakerphone to say hello from chain Mexican restaurant. We all just wanted to say have a great night. And all the girls got the cue and started saying, have a good night, enjoy your burrito, we can't wait to do this next week. I took the phone off speakerphone after everyone had said something. I told him that he was now not only a valued customer but a friend. I thanked him again and hung up. Now I'm sitting in my car crying, thinking about this stranger, and I hoped we helped him. Oh. Yep.
I was waiting for the butt.
I was waiting for the butt.
I was waiting for him to be like,
Buddy showed up and blew up the restaurant.
No.
And then all of a sudden this car drives through the
restaurant. Write a happy face.
Oh, that's so sweet. I really thought for a second he was going to be mad about the notes.
Me too.
Which I was like, 50's too many.
Do you have any... too many notes. I thought they were going to freak him out. Like, I thought he was going to call and be like, hey, I asked for one smiley face.
Yeah.
You got to take these notes back.
Oh, that's so nice.
Do you guys have any memorable, like, super wholesome stories from serving? Like...
Oh, definitely a lot of wholesome things happen.
It's just the bad ones stick out. It
most.
sucks.
But you probably had days that, like, a customer brightened up your day.
Oh, absolutely. Some customers are absolutely amazing. Like, I think a while back I had this girl, she had like lost her mom and she was like eating food by herself. I forget. But I remember her being like, you could tell that she'd been crying all day. And as a server, I don't get too personal ever.
Sure.
I like am in and out usually.
Yeah.
I'm not like, are you okay, honey? Like, I don't do any of that. I just kind of let it be. And I very much, like, was kind, but, like, not over the top. just being normal. And at the end, she just broke down into tears and asked me for a hug because she was like, that was like, thank you for just like being there. And it was, I remember just, and I forget which restaurant that was, but, and it was like a very slow day. It was like a lunch day. So there was like no one really around. And I remember being like, it was just very sweet. And yeah.
I just love serving parties, like birthday parties or anything, because I will make it the most fun. I will make it the most fun experience you've ever had.
Opposite. I think it's too much
With
pressure.
that, I can make molds.
Easy. I'm like easy, and also I'm so extroverted, and I get more energy from more people. So like a 2-top, I'm not gonna do as well with, but like a 16-top, I will be the life of. You'll be like, that server was so fun.
I am the opposite. A 16-top, I'm like, hello, let's turn on the performance. Where a 2-top, I'm like, hey, let's get real. Order this, but don't order this. And order this, but order this.
I do that
Let
too.
me get some taste for you. I love a 2-top.
Yeah, and people are always so appreciative. Like, so appreciative. They're like, servers never do this. I'm like, I think you don't go out to eat a lot.
Or
a lot of servers do exactly like, don't order that. Do order that.
Yeah, I always thought, I think maybe servers don't do that.
Really?
Yeah, because I get that all the time. They're like,
I used to get that all the time too.
You're the best server. No one ever tells me that, or like tells me what to do. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's wrong with these servers then?
Yeah. I definitely like when I go to a restaurant knowing like, not that I'm like, I'm brightening up this server's day. I like to know that I'm like, I am not making their day worse. Like, I just want to be here. There was one time where I was at a restaurant with a friend, and we weren't being like extra like awesome to the server. We were just like, they would come by and they'd be like, hey, I'm so sorry, this is taking a while. And we'd just be like, oh, it's fine. Yeah. And but she kept coming back and be like, thank you guys for being so awesome. And we could tell there was a table nearby that was awful.
Yeah.
But we were just literally being like, oh yeah, it's whatever. Like, whatever. To the point that at the end, she was like, you guys want to do a shot with me right now? And we were like, yeah, sure. Like, we were just like, oh, and then she brought us a free dessert, like a huge dessert.
Yeah.
And we were like, all the time. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will always, if the table is being chill.
Yep, the cooler you are, the more you're
and
gonna
they're like thinking about drinks, I'm like, I'll just get you tasters.
Yep, absolutely.
I'll get you tasters of everything. Try this. Hey, this was
And there's
extra.
so many hacks. Not only does the restaurant have built into it for cool people, like the less you modify, the more you're gonna get for free.
Yep.
The cooler you are, the more things you're gonna get off your bill.
Yep.
Like,
there's so many hacks. You're right, and the restaurant builds them in there.
yeah, and the servers know their own hacks too within the system of the restaurant. Yeah, this one's so sweet.
So sweet.
But really just like an awesome one. Some comments here. I'm crying in the club right now.
Oh my god.
Someone else said, take your fucking upvote. I'm ugly crying at this. Someone else said, was expecting to feed my cynicism, but got hit right in the feels instead.
Yeah.
Bravo, chain Mexican restaurant. Bravo. And then lastly, someone said, the service industry definitely has its downs, but brightening other people's day always helps brighten my own.
Literally.
It has a lot of ups.
It has a lot of
day.
The service industry has a lot of ups. I've met some of the greatest people on the planet.
I would say mostly ups.
I'm gonna do research on what to do
they're full,
and how to do
might
it.
be a little tipsy. They just had good conversation.
And you feel good. You feel good. And I love
I haven't done
like
jack shit today.
Really, you really can
I went around
change
and
someone's
fucked
whole
around
outlook,
for
someone's whole day
$7
by
fucking
giving them
hours.
food, giving them time, and you really don't have to do much. And I love it.
I'm sorry for
There's so many
wasting
ups.
all your time.
And also what I love too, what I used to love about serving, is it was an amazing meditation because you weren't thinking about everything in your life. You weren't thinking about anything.
You're in the
I'm gonna do some research on this and figure out what the fuck to do.
Oh.